It's homecoming from Aggie Memorial Stadium, and you're watching Conference USA football on ESPN+. A tough challenge awaits New Mexico State today as the Aggies battle first place Western Kentucky. The Hilltoppers are 4-0 in league play. They're in the driver's seat for a spot in the conference title game, and they're trying to avoid the road upset in their first ever visit to Aggie Memorial. With the former Aggie defensive back Danny Nee, Adam Young with you. Great to have you with us here today. It's been an inconsistent season for New Mexico State. They come into play today with a record of 2-6, Danny, but a chance today to play spoiler. How do they find a way to pull off a home upset?
Well, I think the first thing they need to do is fix a couple of back-end issues that happened last game. And once they do that, the defense has got to stand up, put their heels in, and stop them. Give the offense enough time. Got a quarterback issue? We'll find a resolution to that, and we'll put points on the board. But the defense has to hold on long enough to put points on the board, and we should be okay. This is a beatable team, Western Kentucky. Tough team, but beatable.
New Mexico State pulled off a nice win 2 games ago at home against Louisiana Tech in 2 overtimes. A tough loss, though, a week ago against FIU. Knees Keys presented, as always, Danny, by the El Paso Las Cruces Chevy dealers.
Yeah, we just talked about the big plays. There were 4 big plays that happened last week that really put the defense and ultimately the Aggies in a precarious situation, because with those 4 big plays, they put points on the board. We get behind. We couldn't figure out the quarterback issue, so we need to stop those big plays. 4 yards in a cloud of dust. We got some big guys. Let's put those big guys to work and carry out that first down and put us in good position for second, third, and the last is throw the ball. Coach said you got to throw the ball to win. We got to find that quarterback, Adam, and throw the ball.
Pretty good field position to start for WKU. They won the toss, and they chose to receive, which is a little bit rare these days. Normally, folks will defer, but this is a really good offense led by the quarterback, Hayden Veldkamp. So on the road, the Hilltoppers want the ball first. They will get it first at the 30-yard line. Nice return for Easton Messer to start things today on a gorgeous day for football. Low 60s from Aggie Memorial. And M-State looking for their 3rd win. Hilltoppers trying to stay undefeated in league play. Handoff goes to Bryce Childress, the former Aggie who hasn't played a ton recently for the Hilltoppers. Only has 3 catches all year, and he goes for 4 on the jet sweep.
Yeah, interesting that they went to Bryce, because he is former New Mexico State. They probably give it to him just to say, hey, remember this guy? He's on our team now.
Hayden Veldkamp, the quarterback for the Hilltoppers, having a really good redshirt sophomore campaign. He's from Bowling Green. Leads Conference USA with 17 passing touchdowns for the year. And he gives it to Elijah Young, who is stuck right away by the Aggies' top tackler this year, Tyler Martinez. And it's going to be 3rd down coming up after a 2-yard gain.
You know, Adam, talking to Coach Morse coming into this game, I talked about some of the changes he makes on defense, but I really wanted to kind of tell him, hey, you know what, I really like the enthusiasm, the way that the Aggies are attacking. Lots of guys to the ball, and you're going to see that tonight. Lots of hats to the ball.
64th tackle this year for Martinez, who's from Albuquerque, Volcano Vista High School grad. 3rd and 4 for Veldkamp, completes the pass to his top target this year. Former FCS All-American Keyshawn Johnson, his team best 42nd grab. Good enough for a 1st down for the Hilltoppers.
Yeah, he's a tough one, so we have to decide whether you're going to go get him or you're going to sit back in coverage, or maybe it's a combination. I do know one thing, though. You need to have a strong secondary. They're going to have to play very well. No breakdowns. Bend, but don't break. Make them earn everything.
Hilltoppers 2nd at Conference USA in passing yards. This is a play fake to Young. A deep ball for Veldkamp. He has Easton Messer, and he will cruise into the end zone. The 18th touchdown pass, Conference USA best for Veldkamp. He put it on the money for Messer, his 4th touchdown catch, and the Hilltoppers strike first.
Well, these are the plays that have killed the Aggies in the past. It's like you get someone that runs by you, and that's Barnes back there on coverage, and he just got behind him after that. Veldkamp, good arm, strong arm. He dumped that thing in there, and it's a walk right in. Big play, big explosive play. That really hurts the Aggies early on.
And that is why WKU wanted the football first. This is a really high-powered offense led by Veldkamp. Messer, one of his favorite targets. It was the 3rd down conversion catch for Johnson earlier. And a 54-yard strike a week ago. Easton Messer had a 64-yard touchdown catch in the win against Kennesaw State. Danny, they're going to score points.
Well,
New Mexico State is going to probably have to score 30-plus to keep up today.
Yeah, in that last play, too, if you don't put any pressure on the quarterback and you let him back there and you're giving up room on the back end, which we clearly gave up some room on the back end, then you're losing on both points there. So you got to figure out from the beginning, if we're going to go get the quarterback, let's go get the quarterback. That means you're going to be in isolation coverage for the secondary, but that's what you have to do. Look at the pass rush. Not much pressure back there. You can't let a good, strong quarterback have that much time back there. And on the backside, you can't have anyone run by you. And when you do that, and those two things add up, you get burned for a big play.
You kind of touched on it, Danny. A week ago against FIU, the secondary really struggled with explosive plays. Aggies allowed 338 passing yards against FIU in the loss a week ago. And a really good start for WKU. Returnable on the kickoff. This is Lorenzo McMillan. And he takes it out to the 25-yard line.
Well, he ran into a wall on that return, didn't he? That was a tough one.
Big question this week was who will start at quarterback for New Mexico State. A week ago it was Brandon Nunez, who was so good 2 games ago against La Tech in a reserve role. This week it's going to be Santino Marucci, Danny, making his 4th start as an Aggie.
Yeah, I think when I spoke to Coach Sanchez, he said, don't be surprised you're going to see both quarterbacks. We have some things in there for Nunez. We may go with Santino to start with, but you'll see both for sure.
Tight end in motion is Jerry Lydia. Running back is Mike Washington. Marucci throws it. It is juggled, and it might have been intercepted. Lydia had it, lost it, intercepted by Western Kentucky. And this is their MOR defense. They force a ton of turnovers. This is their 14th forced turnover in 9 games this year.
Love the crossing route. That's a great route. The ball up just a little bit high. He gets hit in the ribs, and it pops up. Tip drill, and in the tip drill, there's lots of hats around there to collect that thing, and that's what they did. It's a quick INT.
That was Dallas Walker, the nose tackle, a redshirt junior from Nashville. Johnny on the spot. And you could not script a better start for WKU. They got the ball first, 54-yard touchdown throw by Veldkamp to Messer. Aggie's first play results in a pick. Handoff goes to Elijah Young, the former Missouri Tiger, who's having a really good year running the football for WKU. And he goes for 4 on the first down carry.
You know, and speaking to Coach Sanchez and others, they said, you know, we're going to face adversity in this game. There's no doubt about it, but we got to be able to bounce back from it. I'm not so sure they had thought that the adversity was going to come so early in the game. So really we're going to check and see how they collect themselves and get back in this thing, and it starts with holding them here to 3.
George Hart III, transfer from Arizona State, now the running back alongside Veldkamp. They'll give it to Hart, nowhere to go. There's Tyler Martinez again, making his presence known early on. Once again, Martinez coming into the game, the top tackler, having a breakout junior year. Hart will go off for WKU. Young will return. There's more balance on offense this year for the Hilltoppers. They use the tight ends a lot. There's number 81 in white, Noah Myers. There's been 5 touchdown catches from the tight end spot this year for Tyson Helton's squad. Head coach of the Toppers in his 6th year. Messer's in the backfield with Veldkamp, so is Young. They fake it to Young. They throw it to Myers, the aforementioned tight end, and he rumbles inside the 10. Myers with his 2nd catch of the year. His first came a week ago. Danny, they used the tight end a ton.
And they put pressure on him. They chose to put pressure. You see on the line of scrimmage right there on the left side of the screen, there was 5 guys rushing, but you have to leave someone out, and they left that tight end to sneak out. They didn't get to the quarterback, and he dumped it out.
19-yard reception for Myers. Veldkamp will swing it out. Messer breaks the tackle of Barnes, slips free, pushes for the pylon, and he's out of bounds inside the 5-yard line. Broke a tackle initially. He is slippery quick. Not a big guy, 5'9", and he pushes ahead for 3 yards.
Yeah, very fast, very agile. And even when you get to him, and Barnes was on him in a hurry, right? But he just didn't held on. It just got right there, and you could see him from the right of the screen come screaming in. Just missed him. You have to hold, at least grab something till help comes.
3 receivers near side for WKU. Hart, the running back, quarterback keeper for the 6'6" Veldkamp. cruises down to the 1. And it's going to be 3rd and goal from the 1 after the 1-yard pickup for the 236-pound quarterback who has 5 rushing touchdowns this year.
Yeah, at 6'6", 236, that's another weapon in the backfield as well, and so you have to account for him. Throw the ball. He threw to 9 receivers last week. He can run the ball. He's a tough one. So first you have to account for him, then shut it down.
Likely 4-down territory for the Hilltoppers. No motion Young. Veldkamp will keep it again. Lowers the shoulders, and he pushes towards the goal line. Touchdown. Late signal from the official. And it's the 6th rushing touchdown this year for Caden Veldkamp, the Bowling Green native.
Yeah, we've just talked about what a weapon he is at 6'6", 236. He's a runner. He can do it. You get the ball to him back there. You look for a crease. He sees a crease on the right side there. Follows his lead blocker into the hole. Nothing you could do.
Point after coming up from Lucas Carnero. Redshirt sophomore from North Carolina. And this is almost an identical start to the matchup between these two programs a year ago in Bowling Green. Last year it was a 14-0 very early lead in Bowling Green for WKU before the Aggies found a way to win it, scoring 3 second-half touchdowns. Aggies are hoping that magic from a year ago can occur again today. Great start for the Hilltoppers. A pair of touchdowns, an interception, and a 14-0 lead for WKU 5 minutes in. Adam Young, Danny Nee back with you. Aggie Memorial Stadium. Football weather today, low 60s. The temperature shortly will dip into the 50s. And the Hilltoppers in town from Bowling Green off to a phenomenal start. For most of the year, they've been the most complete team in Conference USA. Offense, defense, special teams, and early on they're showing that here on the road. That was touched by Washington, so it's a live ball. The Aggies will get a return from McMillan, and he will be pushed out of bounds near the 30. And we'll get our second look at Santino Marucci in this Aggie offense, which one play and a pick. And that's the worry, right, Danny, with this Hilltoppers defense. They're ball hawks, and they find a way to get turnovers.
I like the call, too, by the way. So that was a great call coming out. It's like you don't have a quarterback. You're not sure if you can throw the ball, and we threw the ball right away. It just stayed up a little bit high, and they were all over it. So a little composure, need a big drive right here.
Once again, Marucci, the quarterback, the transfer from Wake Forest, making his 4th start of the year. Running back is Mike Washington. A big burst up the middle for Washington. A nice run on first down up to the 40. Gains 10. And Danny, he's coming off his best game as an Aggie a week ago.
Yeah, Washington and McGowan, both strong running backs. If there's one thing that's a positive, and that positive attributes for the Aggies, that is our running game. Big, strong running backs, good line there. They need a big dose of that tonight.
Right back to Washington. Runs it up the middle again between the hashes. We'll see a lot of Seth McGowan, the top running back for New Mexico State statistically this year. It's kind of a two-headed monster in that backfield. But New Mexico State will have to find a way to throw the football at some point today. They only had 30 passing yards a week ago. They did have 204 2 games ago, though. Running the football has been their bread and butter this year on offense. Pressure shown by WKU. Bouncing off a tackler is Washington. He only gains 1 yard. And third down is coming up.
Yeah, certainly when we talked to coaches earlier this week, it's do you have to throw the ball down the field? Do you have to make big passes? No, I don't, but you will have to throw the ball 10, 5 yards. You need to be able to throw some of it so you can get the pressure off the run game. So we're going to see what happens here on third down.
2 running backs set, McGowan and Tim Gans. Hilltoppers bring the pressure. Marucci gets rid of it, throws it for Gans, breaks a tackle into Hilltopper territory. Would love to see more of Tim Gans. He's had some really good moments here, Danny, during his career. Yeah. He picks up 14.
And we talked about Gans before the game started, and you said, yeah, he's a talented guy. He can put it on him right there. Great move by Santino. Here comes the pressure. So great call into it. We're going to hop up, just dump it down into it, to a little quick draw action into it, and big play.
Marucci fakes it to Gans. He will navigate up to the 40 himself. Picks up a handful. It was DeMarco Williams, the strong safety, who was showing the pressure on that previous play. Hilltoppers will blitz with their secondary. This is a very confident defense for WKU.
And I think Santino can expect everyone's going to be in his face all night. So good decisions from him. We got to take care of the ball. Don't do anything foolish. If you don't have anywhere to go with the ball, just eat it.
Empty backfield at the moment. Aggies will stick with that. Designed run for Marucci. Drags a tackler up to the 38-yard line. Gets 2. 3rd and short coming up. Aggies have a great field goal kicker, Abraham Montano, who drilled a 57-yarder a week ago. We saw him make a 58-yarder and then some during warm-ups. The wind is at the back of the offense right now. 3rd and 3. Aggies have struggled on 3rd down recently. 3 for 12 a week ago. This is a big 3rd down early on in this game. Marucci, the quarterback. Slant route caught. TJ Pride, the freshman, his team best 22nd catch this year. Good enough for a 1st down.
Well, I think Santino saw the pressure coming. So did the offensive line. Everyone's going to shift over, pick up a guy. Did he throw that ball with some confidence? You can see it right here. He feels the pressure. It's coming. Quick slant. Love the play. Great call. Great pass. Great catch.
11-yard connection down to the 27. 4 receivers bunched up. Middle of the field is wide open for Marucci. Danny, he's using his legs more right now than we've seen all year.
Yeah, that's a great call there too, right? So you spread everyone out. There's no one back there with them. They're going to count for all the guys that are on the far right side of the screen. You can see it right there. No one's left to account for the quarterback, and he keeps the ball. Love the call.
Marucci, a transfer from Wake Forest, who has won some football games during his career. Danny said they'll have a package for Brandon Nunez. He's the quarterback now, with the Aggies inside the red zone. Nunez, the option pitch to Gans down the far sideline. Good decision making for Nunez. He had options there, and I think Tyson Helton might be saying that Nunez took that ball too far and crossed the line of scrimmage.
Oh, that was a close one right there. So this is almost a heavy set in there with our big quarterback, Nunez, who can run the ball, so you have to respect that. He takes it all the way down the line of scrimmage and then tosses it at the last second. Great play.
3 running back look for Nunez with Gans, McGowan, and Washington. Handoff to Seth McGowan. Plows up to the 7-yard line, gets 2 yards. He needed 3. 3rd down and 1 coming up. This is a package the Aggies used a little bit a year ago with Eli Stowers at quarterback, and now it's Nunez this year in that spot. Big body, 6'5", 2 1/4 junior out of Phoenix. Nunez still the quarterback. 3rd and 1, probably 4-down territory. Nunez will change the play call. Play clock down to 4. It's the snap away, fakes the handoff, navigates himself, and he is twisting and turning down to the 2. Gains 5, a 1st down, 1st and goal.
Very aggressive runner. He's a big guy that you talked about, right? So this is our Belcamp comparable person at 6'5", but he can pull it in there, and he can take it himself. He runs with confidence. There's one thing we saw last week. Throwing, okay, he had to work on that a bit, but when he ran the ball, he ran with confidence, and he's a threat when he's back there.
Aggie offense has been really tough in the red zone this year. Deep back is Isaiah Ruddison. Washington and McGowan both in the game. Quarterback Nunez. Nunez fakes it. He gets down to the 1. He does get 1. So 1 yard to go for the Aggies to pull this into a 1-score game.
Well, that was a tough one right there. So get the pressure on the corner that got to him barely. Otherwise, he's in there. So he's keeping that all the way. He's a big guy, and he knows he's got to put this in the end zone. So great run right there. Great defense, though, that's really sticking their heels in the ground here.
Player injured for WKU. Sebastian Benjamin had to go off. And Keandre Williams came in for him. 2nd and goal from the 1. Nunez, 2 rushing touchdowns. Both came 2 games ago against La Tech at home. when he led the Aggies to that comeback double overtime win. Played really well that day. Struggled a week ago in his first start. Nunez, the quarterback. Deep back again is Ruddison. McGowan and Washington both in the game. Nunez will hand it to Washington, and he can cruise in. Touchdown, Mike Washington. His third straight game with a rushing score.
You know, Adam, when you run hard from a quarterback position and you pour it in the middle, you have to protect the middle. You see 10 guys almost in the box. One that's wide, so with 10 guys in there, they fake it in there and pull it around the side, and no one's there because everyone's defending that inside play right in the middle. You see everyone up on the line of scrimmage, got to be in the box, going to stop the short run straight up the gut. Give the ball to Washington around the corner for a TD.
That was a drive you had to have. Falling behind early, 14-zip. Good response from Tony Sanchez's offense. Mike Washington, his 5th rushing touchdown of the year. All 5 have come in the previous 5 games. Danny, he got off to a little bit of a slow start, but since then, Washington has been a machine in the backfield. He runs this one in 1 yard away. It's a 1-score game in quarter 1. 14-7, WKU in front. A nice offensive drive for the Aggie offense. Danny, 13 plays, 70 yards, 44 on the ground. We saw Marucci run. We saw Nunez run. The running backs were good. That was a nice drive by the Aggie offense.
That was one of the more complete drives that we've had in a very long time. And you're right, using both quarterbacks, run the ball, throw the ball. Great drive.
Aggies needed it. Falling behind 14-zip. The first play interception as well. Easton Messer will bring this one out a yard deep in the end zone. Messer gets twisted down just past the 20. They will mark him at the 21. That's where Caden Veldkamp and the WKU offense will start when we come back. 14-7, the undefeated Hilltoppers trying to add to their lead on the road. Adam Young and Danny Nee back with you. The second ever matchup between the Aggies and the Hilltoppers. NM State trying to go to 2-0 all time against WKU with the first ever matchup coming a year ago in Bowling Green. Sports Accessories is the official licensed merchandise provider for the Aggies. They have the best Aggie gear in town, the best price as well. You can check out their showroom in Las Cruces, or you can visit the online store at theaggieshop.com. Caden Veldkamp, the most accurate passer in Conference USA. He is 4 for 4 for 86 yards, a passing touchdown and a rushing touchdown. His running back here is Elijah Young. He will throw on first down. Almost intercepted across the middle, intended for Dalvin Smith, just out of the reach of Tyler Martinez. And Danny, that is what the Aggie D desperately needs right now, is a forced turnover.
You know, when I was talking with Coach Sanchez this week, there was one thing he did bring up, and I said, what about this? How about this quarterback? What about this? And he's like, look, the defense, they got to give us a turnover. They are overdue for turnover. So that's what he's looking for out of that defense.
Aggie defense hasn't forced one in 5 games. Veldkamp, a delayed give to Young, trying to turn the corner. Got around Crosby, upended by Keontae Glinton in the secondary. They're going to mark him out of bounds at the 27. He gets 6.
That was an elusive 6 as well, because there were 3 times that I thought an Aggie could get to him and bring him down, but a good, strong runner, and he just bounced that outside.
Hilltoppers 41% on 3rd down this year. Very effective. Veldkamp, a big reason why. 3rd and 4. Katie Hutchinson in motion. Veldkamp rolling right, looking for Hutchinson, fires it for Dalvin Smith. He gets a first down. That was a no-look pass. Hutchinson, I thought was going to be the receiver, but Kind of a no-look pass there by Veldkamp to find Smith.
It's a great call, right? So they had the numbers. They had more guys over than we did. They just couldn't account for it. The minute we made a play for Veldkamp, he dumped the ball off quickly. Great read, great dump.
Veldkamp, a smooth operator. Redshirt sophomore, was not the starter to begin the year. We'll talk about that as we go along today. But he's arguably the best quarterback right now in Conference USA. Catches made by Keyshawn Johnson, his second grab today. Past the 40, up to the 41. That one goes for 7.
Yeah, Clinton had a great tackle over there, but, you know, this really shows the strength of his arm because he threw from one side of the field all the way to the other and picked up an easy 6-7 yards on that pass.
Johnson, the team leader in catches, receiving yards, and receiving touchdowns this year. From Birmingham, transfer from FCS, Alabama State, former FCS All-American. Hilltoppers scrimmage from the 41. Navigating ahead is Young. He is going to be shy of the first down. He only gets 1 yard. 3rd and 1 coming up.
When you talked about a balanced offense that Western Kentucky has, and they are. They have a good running game. They have a good passing game. It's important that you watch that pass, but you also have to do your job. If you're run fit, you got to do that first, and that's what Naki did there. Run fit, make that stop, because that's what you need. You can't just be looking for a big ball pass, because the minute they do, they have running backs that'll make you pay.
Hilltoppers 4 for 4 on 3rd down. Heavy package here, and it's George Hart III who gets up near midfield. He gets 6, only needed 1. Hart had a rushing touchdown a week ago in the win against Kennesaw, his first of the year. He's a transfer from ASU from Arizona State. This is a very creative offense.
That's the end of the first quarter.
And it's the end of the first quarter. We'll see the offense for the Hilltoppers back on the field to start quarter 2. Hilltoppers jumped out to a 14-zip lead. Tony Sanchez's offense responded. Hilltoppers ball at midfield when you come back. Adam Young, Danny Nee back with you as we get set for quarter number 2. It's homecoming from Aggie Memorial Stadium. The Aggies have won 7 of their previous 9 home games dating back to a year ago. A lot of alums coming into town this weekend for homecoming. Hilltoppers trying to spoil the party. Caden Veldkamp had a really good first quarter. Aggie defense struggling to get off the field on 3rd down. Hilltoppers 5 for 5 on 3rd down so far. This is a backwards pass. Dalvin Smith has 3 career touchdown patches. He hooks up here with Keyshawn Johnson. That is Smith's 4th career touchdown pass. He's a wide receiver. Touchdown Hilltoppers.
Well, Adam, we talked about the trick plays that Gadget. Got to have a gadget guy, gadget plays that are in there, and this is one of them. And they're usually coach was thinking, look, the minute they cross 50-yard line, you got to be ready for the trick play. Here's your trick play right here, and we bit. We bit on the fake and on the quick toss. We attacked it with everyone and let someone get right by us. So that's a trick play, and that's one that'll cost you for not paying attention.
Dalvin Smith, the 6th-year Hilltopper, a wide receiver, has now thrown 4 career touchdown passes. And it's not just Smith. They do it with Elijah Young a little bit as well. He's thrown some passes this year. He's a running back. This is a really creative Hilltoppers offense. It's not just Veldkamp. There's a lot of guys that play a big role, and Tony Sanchez not pleased with the explosive plays again on defense, and that was an issue a week ago.
Right, so the first drive, they had a 54-yard big deep pass ball. Second one off the tip, right, so they score. I get it, that happens. The second one, you're playing good, you're bending, you're not breaking, you're attacking. You attack with everyone, and here it comes with the receiver. Quick toss to the receiver, halfback pass, or receiver pass downfield. And you see they just got behind us. That was Kelly out there on defense that just bit on that fake. And by keeping your eyes in the backfield and not on your job, that's what happens sometimes.
And it's an Aggie defense that early on this year, in the first couple of games against SEMO and Liberty, for the most part, avoided explosive plays. And then things have unraveled a bit since the first 2 games. McMillan will let it sail over his head. Aggies will have it at the 25. Coming off a really nice offensive drive, and they're going to need some answers during the course of today's game if it continues like this. We said earlier, you're going to have to score 30 plus.
Yep.
And
Yep.
this offense has struggled at times, New Mexico State that is, only averaging 20 points per game, but a lot of positives on the previous drive. Need to stick with the game plan and run the football effectively. Quarterback is Nunez, so it's not Marucci, it's Nunez. They put McGowan in motion. Nunez did not start the game, but was good on the previous drive inside the red zone. Hand off to McGowan. He's run for almost 520 yards for the year. Goes for 3 yards on this first down run.
You know, that's interesting, Adam. I thought for sure he would go back to Santino for the same type of strategy from the first one, but he leaves Nunez in. And I saw them talking on the sidelines during one of the breaks, and maybe this is what we're going to put you in for on this drive.
Aggies clearly feel like they can run the football against the Hilltoppers. If there is one blemish on their defense, it's probably stopping the run. This is Washington, who almost broke free. He does get a first down all the way up to the 37. A 9-yard explosion for Washington, who really has some fresh legs right now, Danny.
He does, and that was just a shoestring tackle on that. So let's look at the blocking up front. Look at the hole that was generated by that offensive line. Great hole. Washington quick to get in there. One guy grabs a shoelace, knocks him down.
Nunez, the quarterback. Top two running backs in right now. McGowan and Washington. McGowan to the left. Washington to the right. Washington takes the handoff down the far sideline. Another quality pickup. Looks like just shy of Hilltopper territory up to the 48. An 11-yard gain for Mike Washington, the transfer from Buffalo.
So there's the give right there, the read. It's a give, and look at the two guys that he beats to the corner. I didn't think he was going to be able to get to the corner, but he does. That's elusive speed that Washington has, and once he gets the corner, he turns it up there for some good yardage.
I think this is the plan, Danny. I think Tony Sanchez is feeling like until Western Kentucky shows they can stop the run, the quarterback's going to be Nunez instead of Marucci.
Yeah, I think you're right, Adam.
That's the 7th Aggie first down here in the first half. McGowan running backwards initially, stays on his feet, plows ahead. That was a hard 2 yards up to the 50 for McGowan. He probably ran for about 7 or 8, but it's only 2 yards on the pickup.
Those are tough 2 yards there, but important 2 yards to show that look, we're coming and we're going to run the ball. We're not sure, we don't care about the score or what you've done in the past, but we think we can run it and we're going to run it. And that's just good, hard running right there by McGowan, and we know he runs hard.
4 wide receiver looking for Nunez. Phoenix native, transfer from Fullerton JUCO. Tight end Lydiot in motion to the right. Lined up slot right. Nunez looking to throw, pointing towards his teammate, almost intercepted. It was Zach Edwards, the defensive end, who got his hands on it. And third down is coming up. Marucci's coming in for Nunez.
Yeah, I think you see that Nunez was trying to throw the ball. There was no one open. Everyone's covered. That could have been a very bad decision right there. So it was good that it's knocked down. He's trying to get it to Seth that's on the sidelines. Really nowhere to go with the ball, though.
If he lobs it instead of a line drive throw, it could have been a big pickup. So Marucci has to come in here on 3rd and 8. Jordan Smith in motion. Back to throw, Marucci intercepted. Anthony Johnson Jr., his 2nd interception of the season. I think Donovan Fapel did not run the right route, forcing the interception. 2nd takeaway for WKU on defense.
Lots of pressure on the line to begin with, right? So they're showing tons of pressure. You have 6, 7, 8 guys up there. Some pull back into coverage. He pulls the trigger quickly, but certainly if that was Fapel, he was not in line with what he was trying to do. He threw the ball outside. He turned inside on the route, so that wasn't even on the same page. And when that happens, you get a pick.
22-yard return on the interception for Johnson. 21-7 Hilltoppers. We're back after this. is a big difference this year for these two programs in turnover margin. New Mexico State -12 for the year. Hilltoppers +2, and right now the Hilltoppers +2 in this game, getting 2 takeaways, including a pick moments ago. And that one was not on Marucci, judging by Tony Sanchez's reaction. So Veldkamp back to work. He hands it off to Elijah Young. Tackle made by Martinez. Naki Fahina there as well. Need to find a way to get some stops here on defense, Danny.
You do need to stop. So every time they've had 3 possessions on the ball, scored all 3 times, and so they need to figure out a way to shut them down.
In the backfield, Messer in motion is Young. He will take the jet sweep. Slips out of the Martinez tackle, but finished off by Hobbs. Martinez almost got to him there in the backfield, and Hobbs with the finisher.
He did, and Martinez blew the play up by getting penetration into the backfield. He didn't make the tackle, but he slowed him up enough where there was pursuit to the ball, and there were lots of hats to the ball to get there. So let's watch Martinez right here on the right. He holds on, doesn't make the tackle, but we have 3-4 other Aggies there to help clean it up.
Hilltoppers a perfect 5 for 5 on 3rd down. This is 3rd and 9. Veldkamp play action pass. Looking downfield, has a man, but he overthrew him. Intended for grad student Michael Matheson. This is kind of no man's land here for WKU, and they've been very successful this year on 4th down.
They're going to punt it, though. So lots of pressure on the quarterback. So if you want to slow him down, get to the quarterback. We didn't get there. I'm just impressed at that offensive line of holding us off. But there was enough push back from the defensive front that he had to let that ball go, and it wasn't completed. So great stop right there by the Aggies.
There's Joe Morris, the defensive coordinator. Best drive all day for his defense after they were put in a tough spot on the interception. Maynard, the punter, punting away to Smith, and this one will bounce into the end zone. So it's going to go out to the 20.
Well, that was an important stop right there, Adam. That was a good job by the defense.
It's been a little bit of a quarterback carousel to start for NM State. It looks like Santino Marucci will start this drive when we come back. Santino Marucci, the quarterback right now for first-year head coach Tony Sanchez to start this drive. We've seen Marucci and Nunez. Marucci 2 for 2 for 26 yards through the air. Also has the 1 interception. And on the ground, he's run for 17, so he's used his legs effectively. The Aggies would love another long 7-minute drive like they had earlier on their touchdown. Ball is at the 20. Washington, the tailback. High snap. Give is to Washington, who's been successful on the ground so far. He runs up to the 24. 4-yard pickup on 1st down for Mike Washington, who's already run for 35 yards in the game.
You know, Western Kentucky will come up to the line of scrimmage. You'll put everyone on there and drop off, and sometimes they don't drop off.
A little tempo for the Aggie offense. Washington up the middle, trying to break free to midfield. And he is tripped up there. Mike Washington over 50 yards already. He's up to the 49, 25-yard explosion.
It's a great play. And what I was going to say is when they get up on the line of scrimmage, sometimes it leaves the 2nd level and the 3rd level open. This time they just went 3-3-5, but he broke to that 2nd and 3rd level, and those were the big gains come from. Great run right there.
McGowan, the running back now. 2 receivers bunched up either side. Hand off to McGowan. He stampedes ahead into Hilltopper territory. 4-yard pickup. Danny, we talked to Tony Sanchez before the year during the preseason. He was raving about Mike Washington. He said, guys, he's 215 pounds, and he's one of the fastest players on the field. A Hilltopper is down. That is Walker, who had the interception earlier.
Well, so far in the year, if you take a look at our body of work, you have to look at the positive attributes that we really have to build upon, and it's the running game, right?
Yeah.
It's the running game with both Washington and McGowan and Nunez and Santino. Great running game, work on the passing a little bit, and then kicking. We've had great kicking with field goal, long scoring kicks. So those are the two pieces that you can build on and keep going through this season.
Aggies have run for 99 already today. And Mike Washington, that was before the previous run, so now they're up to 150 on the ground. 150 on the ground, so they're going to get to 200, it looks like, again. They've been 200 plus on the ground in 3 of the previous 4 games.
And if you're Western Kentucky, you have to think about that. It's like we got to shut the running game down, and when they do, that's when we have to have the confidence to throw the ball.
P.J. Johnson in motion. Play action fake to McGowan. Marucci hit as he throws, and it's caught. TJ Pride caught it. It was deflected. It results in a reception. Wow.
That's not how they draw that up, but when he threw the ball and it spun out sideways, I saw an Aggie over there, if that was Pride, on the side, and here it is right here. You can see it steps up, he gets hit from behind, it just pops out, wounded duck, gets picked up. Great play.
Sebastian Benjamin got a fingertip on it, didn't matter. Stretch handoff, McGowan plows up to the 30. They'll mark him down at the 31. Pick up a 5 yards for Seth. He's looking for a face mask.
That offensive line is doing a great job there, and because Western Kentucky is doing a lot of stunts around. They move people. They have 3 down, but they'll walk people up every play, then pull some off and come rushing from a different angle. So that line continually has to look up to read who's got what, so you don't have a busted coverage on the line of scrimmage.
Aggies trying to make this a 1-possession game about midway through quarter 2. Aggies with a trick play on the reverse. It goes to Jordan Smith, and Johnson wasn't fooled. The trick plays have worked for WKU on offense, not working for NM State, a loss of 6.
Not a bad play. There was one block that we did need in there and didn't get the block, and the one block they ended up making the tackle. If he breaks that tackle, that could be a big play. I like the call, though, because that says, look, we're not afraid to reach into the bag of tricks ourselves if we need to. But it does put us in a 3rd and long here.
Aggies are in field goal range, of course, for Abraham Montaño, the guy that Danny was alluding to earlier, who's been really good all year. Aggies are 3 for 4 on 3rd down. They need 11 yards. It was Pride in motion. Marucci, the quarterback. Heavy pressure, backing up as he throws, and it is incomplete. Almost intercepted. There were 3 Hilltoppers around the football, no Aggies. DeMarco Williams, the strong safety, was trying to scoop it up above the turf, could not get there, and the Aggies will have to settle for a field goal try.
Yeah, Santino has really taken a beating back there, being a quarterback spot. That's one he just threw up in the air for anyone, a 50-50 if you will. Let's see how we do on this long field goal here.
This is a 54-yard attempt for Abraham Montaño, and it is no good. A rare miss, only his 2nd miss all year. He made from 57 and 54 a week ago. And just missed on that one, so the Hilltoppers will take over. A good drive to start, running the football with Washington, and it stalls on the miss by Montaño.
Well, it's back to the defense. Defense, you got to make one more stop in here so you can get the ball back and have time to put some points on the board before halftime. Let's see the kick. Just pulled it right.
Montaño's been one of the more efficient kickers around the country all year. Only a 2nd miss. Bobbled snap. Veldkamp scoops it up, throws it for Smith, and navigates down the near sideline in front of the Aggie bench. Smith in his 6th year with the Hilltoppers. He threw a touchdown pass on a trick play earlier, and the catch and run goes for 7 for Smith.
Adam, when I was talking with Coach Morris, I said, what about the defense? You started out with a 4-2-5, and then you kind of moved back to the 3-3-5, and then you have some other things in there. And he did change it up a little bit, and I think that really benefits the Aggies. They've been really aggressive with his defense that he's adjusted.
Running back is L.T. Sanders. Veldkamp throwing it sideline, and it was intercepted. Tiptoeing around the sideline. Intercepted by DeMarcus Crosby, who had 4 picks for Sam Houston a year ago. His first as an Aggie, And the first Aggie takeaway in 5 games, Danny.
Well, this is what Coach was talking about. He's like, I need a turnover. The defense got to give me a turnover. You talked about a turnover at one of our breaks, saying, man, we need a turnover to help us get going here. And this is one right there. The ball drifted a little high. Crosby's there to jump it at the highest point, get that pick, and get that turnover back. Give the Aggies the ball back for the chance to score. That is
Only the 4th forced turnover this entire season for NM State. And the previous 3 came very early. The first forced turnover in 5 games. Every single forced turnover has been an interception. 0 fumble recoveries this year. And some new life here for the Aggie offense after the forced turnover.
He just gunned that thing deep, and it was just at the highest point. Crosby got it. Big run right there.
Somersaulting up to midfield is Seth McGowan. He almost broke loose. Washington did as well earlier a couple times. He gets 12. McGowan knows it. He was deep in the secondary. Just couldn't get across midfield. Ball is placed at the 49-yard line. Once again, the Aggies can make this a 1-possession game. The give is to Tim Gans. He's had a couple of carries early on in the game into Hilltopper territory. Down to the 47, 4-yard pickup for Tim Gans.
I like that inverted look that you have there, because the Aggies can go either direction. You have different styles of running back. If it's McMillan, he's a cutter, slasher. He can get in there. Very elusive, hard to find. You can go the other way with heavy. You can put the ball up the middle. I like that formation.
Aggies have had really good depth at running back the entire year with Washington, McGowan, Ruddison, Gans. Monte Watkins still unavailable. And this is going to be a loss. Great play defensively by the Hilltoppers as they take down Mike Washington. Loss of 5 yards on the play.
Yeah, that's a tough one there. That's one where you want to get that one back again. And I don't know if he was reading or what he saw, but he certainly was a give read, and they knew it as well. Everyone had their fit, knew exactly what to do, and nothing you could do with it.
That was Virgil Marshall, the tackle for loss for WKU. So now a 3rd and 11 situation for the 2nd straight drive for NM State. In motion was P.J. Johnson. Marucci under heavy pressure, dumps it off to McGowan. McGowan inside the 45, pushed out of bounds just shy of the 40. Let's see where they officially mark it. Line judge still moving. It's going to be right at the sticks. This is going to be close.
This is a close one. Another great call in here. They're coming with pressure. Everyone up on the line of scrimmage. Everybody comes. Dump it quickly. Go get as many yards as you can. McGowan tried to get there. He knew he had to get there, and it was just very short.
Danny, this is 4th and inches, less than a yard, so of course NM State will go for it. Aggies 0 for 5 on 4th down in their previous 3 games, 4 for 11 for the year. And it looks like Tony Sanchez will use a timeout to talk about it.
I'm all for it. I think it's the right time, the right place. If you have a chance to hold volley with the Western Kentucky and have a chance at this game, you have to go for these that are close in your territory. Barely, but still 4th down, you need to go.
There's Andrew Mitchell there in the middle calling the plays. Might see Nunez in this package as well. Would you bring in Brandon Nunez at quarterback?
I think so. I think if you do that, there's advantages to both, and I'm sure that's what they're talking over. If you're bringing Nunez in, you know they're going to be run, so they're going to be up hard on the line of scrimmage. If you want to be a gambler, you leave Santino in there, and you have a little RPO action, just a quick little out or something, because they'll be playing the run, and you got to dump the ball, but we haven't been terribly successful at that, so it depends if you want to be a gambler or not.
Positive is you have a big, experienced, really good offensive line you can utilize right here.
I knew it.
Quarterback's going to be Nunez on 4th and less than a yard. A big play late in this first half. Hilltoppers got the ball to start, so the Aggies will have the ball first in half 2. Nunez goes under center, pushes the pile, and it looks like Nunez by the spot has enough. At least it appears that way. Tyson Helton trying to say not enough. Tony Sanchez wants a face mask penalty. Both head coaches won't get either call they want, and it's a first down. Tyson Helton
Wow.
still pointing the other way, and the officials have said first down.
Yeah, so I saw the judge on this side. It wasn't a favorable mark that he had, but I do like the play of putting Nunez under the center because he's a big, strong guy. That defensive line stood strong, though, and he had to work very hard to get those few inches in there, but he did and got that first down. Important first down as we wind down the second quarter.
If you make this a one-possession game into halftime, get the ball to start half two, who knows? Especially with the way this is going as far as turnovers in this half. A couple of interceptions. Throw across the middle. Pride was there. He thought he was held. It is incomplete. Nunez, the quarterback, so he threw the pass. And Pride could not reel it in.
Adam, I know you saw that, but he catches that ball. He's off to the races. A quick slant in there. We've seen that already. Santino hit that one earlier, and it's just the ball a little too far out in front. Maybe he was held to begin with, but that pass, you got to have those right there because that is big yardage plays right there.
Nunez 0 for 4 passing. Meanwhile, Marucci 4 for 5 through the air. Quarterback is Nunez. He'll motion Washington out at wide receiver. Second down for the Aggie offense. Designed run for Nunez. Angles to his left, and the Hilltoppers were sniffing it out. Even with an empty backfield, you kind of knew Nunez was going to keep the football and run with it.
Yeah, I think they pretty much know that when he does that, even if we're going to sell out and pretend there's another play coming, they know that he's not going to throw the ball, and they're going to be up on the line of scrimmage to really stuff that run or keep or anything else that he has.
So now our third down, you change quarterbacks again. You bring in the passing quarterback, the Wake Forest transfer, Santino Marucci. Quarterback carousel right now for NM State. And a timeout is called by WKU.
Western Kentucky. That's their first 30 seconds.
They want to make sure they are aligned correctly on defense. Their defensive coordinator is Tyson Summers, the former head coach at Georgia Southern. Replaced Willie Fritz at Georgia Southern. Now the Georgia Southern head coach is Clay Helton, who is the brother of Tyson Helton, the Hilltoppers head coach. The Helton family with a lot of coaches. Their father, Kim, was a longtime collegiate coach. In fact, Tyson played for Kim at Houston as a backup quarterback. So coaching's in the blood for the Heltons, and Tyson's done, Danny, a remarkable job in Bowling Green. 6 seasons, 6 bowl trips for him.
Yep, that's a great job. You're right.
His brother Clay is now at Georgia Southern, but formerly the head coach at USC.
It was a good timeout for them because we came out with a trips formation to the left side of our offense, and the defense was confused on who they were going to line to. And when they get, when they're not sure who's doing what, that's where you end up with those 3 receivers cutting through each other, and you end up with someone coming free.
Aggies will scrimmage from the 40. They need the 30, 3rd and 10. Unconventional run by the quarterback on 3rd and 10. The quarterback is Nunez. He pulled it, and he scampers all the way down to the 26. 14 yards for Nunez for a first down, Danny.
Great read right here, right? Sell that. He rides that run all the way in, pulls it out at the last second to take it around the corner, and he's bumbling for that first down.
The confidence in Brandon Nunez's legs on 3rd and 10 to run that ball. And a timeout is called, and we'll step aside. It's the 2-minute timeout. 21-7. Aggies driving late in half one. Western Kentucky up 14 on the road, chasing down a spot in the Conference USA Championship game. Currently 4-0 in CUSA as McGowan pinballs off a defender after breaking a tackle all the way down to the 12. 14-yard scamper for McGowan.
Every time he touches the ball, he runs so aggressive. I just love the way he runs. Grabbed one leg, he wasn't going to let that take him down, and he just continued to push through that to get the big pickup.
Quarterback right now is Santino Marucci. Aggies swapping out quarterbacks again during this drive. Trying to make this a one-possession game. McGowan in Washington in at running back. Pride in motion, the freshman wide receiver to the left. Marucci will jump to throw, caught by McGowan, and he is stuck immediately by the strong safety, DeMarco Williams. That will sting. It's a 5-yard pickup on the dump off.
I think that's one where you get the breath knocked out of you, where you come around and he's just standing right there and he plants you right where you stand, where he caught the ball, hung on to the ball, but I think it just grabbed his breath quickly. Love the play.
Wow.
Great little fake, toss out quickly there. They didn't bite, and they popped him.
They'll mark it at the 9. Hand off to Washington. A flag comes in on the run. This is going to be our first penalty flag today. It's going to be a false start. First time today hearing from Rodney Burnett, our lead referee. Before the call, he's going to speak to the other officials. They were signaling false start initially. Tony Sanchez is out on the field near the 20.
False start. Offense number 56. 5-yard penalty. Remain second down. New Mexico State is elected to take a timeout to prevent the 10-second runoff.
So this is on Kanan Yarrow, the center. It was hard to tell from
I didn't see it.
Yeah, I don't know. It was a late flag. Interesting.
Please reset the game clock to 1:03.
First flag today either side, and Western Kentucky is coming off a game a week ago where they had 0 penalties against Kennesaw State. It was their first penalty-free game since 2020. So it's going to be second down coming up, and it is imperative you get 7 on this drive right here, Danny.
Yeah, I think so. I think, you know, if at very least you get 3, that's okay. But because you're going to come in with momentum now, right? So you're going to get the ball second half as well. More importantly, if you can get 7, you have tons of confidence in the locker room. It's Coach Mitchell. I'd had a nice talk with Coach Mitchell. I really like Coach Mitchell. He does a great job. His offensive line, he's taking over the offensive coordinating, calling the plays as well. And I asked him, Adam, I said, when you're out there calling plays, and I know you're the offensive line coach, don't you just want to peek at your guys and wonder, you know, are they doing okay? And he's like, no, these guys are veterans, man. These are very mature guys, and I trust them.
Yeah, there's so much experience on that offensive line with guys like Vaipulu and Yarrow and Pete. A lot of starts on that O-line. Marucci started the game today. He's been used. Nunez has been used. It's Marucci right now at quarterback. Direct snap to Washington. They fake it to Pride. Marucci throws, and he throws it behind P.J. Johnson. Well, that looked good initially, but nobody was open on the trick play. We've seen a couple not work for the Aggie offense so far today.
Yeah, they didn't bite at all. They were ready. Call the timeout. Great time. You can work on these plays all week, and you look for the right time to call them. This is one that's like, let's try it. Let's see what happens. And Western Kentucky just wasn't fooled. They stayed back in every position and was ready for it.
Aggie scrimmage from the 14. They swap quarterbacks again. Now it's Nunez. Down 14, late in half one. Ball is on the turf. Nunez lost it, and Western Kentucky takes over. It was on the RPO. I think Nunez had it in the belly too long of his running back. And that is the 3rd turnover for the Aggie offense in half one.
Of all the things that can happen, Adam, when you come to the end of this second quarter, turning the ball over to Western Kentucky was the worst thing that could happen. So putting that on the carpet really hurts a great deal.
And New Mexico State has been so good, one of the best in Conference USA this year at getting points in the red zone. And a rare mistake in the red zone for the Aggie offense. So a good drive results in a turnover in the end. 2 interceptions and now a fumble. And you give Caden Veldkamp enough time to go down and get some points here with 53 seconds left. A couple timeouts left for the Hilltoppers as well. This offense for WKU is explosive and more than capable of extending their lead here late in the first half. Hand off to Young. Aggie defense should be fresh. Young pinballs off a tackler past the 35. A nice pickup on first down for Young, the transfer from Mizzou.
Yeah, it just feels like we're getting very close to grabbing a running back and making a play, but we just let him loose, and he turns the corner and picks up extra yards. So that's a great first down for them.
Before that, the Aggie defense has done a really good job of stopping the run against WKU. It's been the passing game that's hurt him today with Veldkamp. Veldkamp with time to throw, fires it towards midfield. Caught by Keyshawn Johnson. He's wrapped up there by Dylan Early. So the Hilltoppers approaching midfield. 13-yard connection. Clock will stop for the change to move with 40 seconds left.
Yeah, so they're sitting back in a zone, so a deep kind of a prevent zone, so they allow that midfield pass.
Delayed handoff to Young, and Young has passed the 45 down to the 43, and Tyson Helton will use one of those timeouts.
Now those are tough plays too, because you're giving up big chunks, whether it's going to be running or passing, and sometimes you get to a kind of a prevent. You're going to be in a zone deep, not let them get one over top. But by doing that, you give up the midfield type passes or the runs, and those are the ones that can hurt you as well, because you're leaving time on the clock with 27 seconds. Very capable offense.
Player down for NM State is DeMarcus Crosby, who had the interception earlier. Houston native, transfer from Sam Houston. First team all-conference last year in CUSA. And he's in a ton of pain right now as he gets attended to on the turf.
Well, it's a big change of events, right? You get down to close to putting 7 on the board yourself. You fumble, you put the ball on the carpet, they recover. They move the ball, Western Kentucky. Some deep passes, some runs, and they're midfield with 27 seconds left in the second quarter.
It's a little chilly tonight, so that'll sting even more for Crosby, who's able to go off on his own. It's in the mid-50s now as we approach 5:30. We spoke earlier about the Hilltoppers being undefeated in Conference USA at 4-0. They're currently tied with Jacksonville State. Well, the Gamecocks are on the rope right now. They are playing Louisiana Tech, and they trail early on in the fourth. So this could be a huge day for WKU if they can hang on and if the Gamecocks lose their game in Ruston against La Tech. Hilltoppers trying to chase down a spot in the Conference USA title game here in the final couple weeks of the year. Young will motion out as a wide receiver. Empty backfield for the redshirt sophomore, Caden Veldkamp. Fires it far sideline. It is incomplete. Intended for Young, the running back. And coverage there was Wyoming transfer Keontae Glinton.
You know, one of the things to point out is the pressure that we're trying to get to Veldkamp. We're trying to really get to him so he doesn't have lots of time back there. And not once tonight have we really got to him. We've pushed the line a bit back into him, but not much pressure on him. And you got to be careful because he's got a strong arm, which you just saw right there. Left that one a little short, but very capable.
This is a huge third down here with 22 seconds left. Veldkamp rolling left. He throws on the move, and he hooks up with Easton Messer, his trusted wide receiver. And Tyson Helton will try to use the timeout right away with the ball now at the 39.
Timeout, Western Kentucky. That's their second, 30 seconds.
They still have one timeout left. Messer, one of the very best wide receivers in Conference USA. Danny, off the top, we said today that this might be, probably is, the most complete team right now in Conference USA. The Hilltoppers, that is, with their offense, the defense, and the special teams. Have you seen that so far today?
I have, and I think when you talk about a complete team, that means your offense is able to run the ball, to throw the ball, to do all the things that you need to, trick plays included. Certainly, Veldkamp is a very capable thrower. We've seen that. But in the last case here, he runs out of the backfield, and so you put him in play action, and he's moving, gets his feet set, and makes a good pass. He can run the ball as well. So, yes, they are a very capable offense.
Veldkamp did not start the first 3 games of the year. This is his 6th straight start today. Their starter to start the year was TJ Finley. He's been out ever since with an injury, was injured in week 3 at Middle Tennessee early in that game. Veldkamp came in that game and threw for almost 400 yards. And he's been the starter ever since. A Bowling Green native. Veldkamp will whistle it near side for Hart, the running back. At this point, if you're in New Mexico State, you're trying to hold the Hilltoppers to a long field goal attempt.
Field goal, that's right. So you're going to have to figure out a way to keep the ball in front of you. Very short yardage as the clock is down to 10 seconds now. So maybe they get one more play in downfield. Maybe they take a shot now.
Only one timeout left. Their kicker is a good one. Lucas Carnero, who's 9 for 10 this year, has good range with his leg as well. Veldkamp near side, trying to get out of bounds. Katie Hutchinson will. 6 seconds left. That'll move the chains. Time for one more play, a quick one, and then a field goal attempt. Meanwhile, the Aggies with one timeout left here in half one. Aggies will get the ball first to start half two. Veldkamp near side. Catch is made. Did he stay in bounds? And it looks like he did. Katie Hutchinson down to the 24.
That's their third 30-second
That's a great pass right there and a great catch on the sideline right there. In this case, we almost get to the quarterback. You see Paletta coming in from the right. Buddha almost gets to him, doesn't. He gets the ball off, and he just pinpoints that ball.
So a big drive for number 15 there, Katie Hutchinson, the redshirt sophomore from Alabama. And Lucas Carnero will attempt a 42-yarder. It's his only field goal attempt in the season opener against Alabama. Since then, he's made 9 in a row. Tony Sanchez will use his final timeout.
And why not? You can't take him into the halftime with you, so you might as well use him and do whatever you can.
30 seconds.
Two really good kickers in this game. We saw Abraham Montaño, the Aggie kicker, attempt a 54-yarder and miss it earlier. But before that, he had only missed one all year. Carnero's only missed one all year.
Now we've blocked some too, right?
Yeah.
So that's probable as well. So that's not probable, but it's something that we can do that's in our arsenal. So yeah, that would be good.
That was the last home game,
yeah.
2 games ago against La Tech. And
yeah, big win.
Helped the Aggies win the game. If they don't block it, La Tech has a walk-off game winner likely. The miss this year for Carnero against Bama was a 38-yarder. Along of 54, this one from 42. Out of the hold of Cole Maynard, the punter. And the kick is good for Carnero. So it's a 24-7 lead for the Hilltoppers into the halftime break. New Mexico State had some chances. Turnover is a big issue in half one. Aggies committed 3, Hilltoppers 1. Aggies get the ball first to start half two. Halftime coverage comes your way next. You're watching Conference USA football on ESPN+. Hilltoppers trying to stay undefeated. Adam Young, D&E back with you. Halftime stats presented by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of New Mexico. And Danny, these two offenses, we talked about it going in. WKU known for their passing game, Aggies known for their running game, and that's held true so far in the first 30.
Yeah, that's funny how that comes out that way, but it certainly has. It looks like they're just a crisscross of running and passing yardage, and the big difference then would be the turnovers and the big plays. They caught us on a big play early on. Those 3 turnovers cost us, which we talked about, and those ones hurt.
Aggies have run the ball well, averaging 5 yards per run. Mike Washington's had a really good day. Washington and McMillan back deep to receive the kickoff from Riley Stevens, who handles kickoff duties for the Hilltoppers. Hilltoppers 30 minutes away from staying undefeated in Conference USA, and we're tracking that Jacksonville State score because right now they trail Louisiana Tech at the 2-minute timeout in the 4th in Ruston. That is a 37-31 score, so this could be just a huge day for the title hopes for WKU.
And the Aggies playing WKU very tough here. Of course, we get that overtime win against Louisiana Tech. I think Conference USA is parity, and there's Conference USA. Even though there's some top teams doing well, it's very competitive.
Hilltoppers will actually play Jacksonville State in the regular season finale. And off to Mike Washington. Quarterback to start half two is Santino Marucci. Washington runs for 4. We saw Nunez and Marucci. Marucci started the game, making his 4th start this year. Hilltoppers won the toss today, and they chose to receive the opening kick. They did not defer. Aggies go with tempo. Washington shimmies up through a hole, up near the first down marker, about 1.5 yards shy. 3rd down and short.
Come back with heavy dose of running. That's been the what the Aggies did well in the first half.
Running with tempo as well. Washington again, stuck initially, second effort, and pushes ahead up near the 40. Gain of 4, first down for the Aggie offense.
That second push by Washington, his desire to just get that first down and get more, it makes a difference.
Washington will go off. McGowan comes in. Jordan Smith comes in at wide receiver as Washington talks to his running backs coach, former NFL running back David Cobb. The Aggies trying to make this a little tighter in their opening drive here in the 3rd quarter. Tim Gans has run hard here today. Gans is still slipping free. He's up near the 45 to the 43. Gain of 5 yards for Gans, who's been effective in this game.
You know, the difference between Washington and McGowan and Gans is that Gans certainly is kind of a slasher, right? So he gets in there and you can't see him, and he darts left, right quickly, and he just gets those extra yardage in there. But a very hard, determined runner, just like Washington and just like McGowan.
Aggie running game trying to get to 200 yards for the 4th time in the previous 5 games. Running game's been good. Hand off to Gans, running left to the 45. He gains 2 yards.
Number 20, Gans.
It's been Gans, McGowan, Washington. We've seen Isaiah Ruddison in.
You know, that Western Kentucky defense, that last tackle, they're coming from the backside, so they're reading in there. They're seeing the run, and they're chasing from the backside, and they're making some tackles as well. It really would bode well then on some of those that you pull that ball and then keep it around.
Both teams have been good offensively on 3rd down today. Aggies 5 for 9. It's a bad snap, and Marucci has to jump on it. That's all he could do. Snap sailed on him over his left shoulder. And that'll stall out the drive, and Marucci will talk to Kanan Yarrow about what happened there.
You know, this doesn't happen very much because Yarrow is a very good center, but this one just got away from him and sailed cleanly over Santino's head. Nothing he could do with that. Puts us down in a 4th and a very long situation. That's too bad for that drive, that initial drive, and it started out so well.
Loss of 15 yards. First punt today for George Eberle. Fair caught by Katie Hutchinson. It's the first punt because a number of drives have ended in turnovers. There's been the 3 turnovers, so Eberle punts for the first time, and now the Hilltoppers can really pile it on here early on in the 3rd.
You know, Adam, the Aggies just got to find a way to get out of their own way, if you will. You know, you get to the last drive of the first half and kind of mess it up a little bit, put the ball in the carpet. In the first drive of the second half, we end up having a loss of 15, which causes a punt. Makes it very tough to win ball games like that.
Veldkamp 12 for 16 for 139 in the air. 1 touchdown, 1 pick. He also has a rushing score. Starting once again at quarterback for WKU. And he throws it away. Intercepted. DeCarrick Hobbs. The Sam Houston transfers Crosby and Hobbs with a pair of picks here today.
That is a fantastic turnover. Hobbs sitting back there. He's reading. We couldn't get to Veldkamp. He had lots of time to sit in the pocket. He's looking around there. He delivers, but as soon as he releases the ball, as soon as he releases right there, Hobbs jumps right on that pass right away. He breaks quickly, dives up there, and gets the pick. Great pick.
Intended for Smith. Veldkamp saying my bad to Smith on the sideline. So no takeaways in the previous 4 for the Aggie defense, and now 2 today, and it's been the Sam Houston transfers who have done the damage. Aggie offense back to work. Their best field position all day. Let's see if they can take full advantage. Marucci still the quarterback. Hand off to McGowan. He has space along the right sideline inside the red zone. Best run today for McGowan. 19-yard explosion, Danny.
So look at the read right here. Look at the hole that he has right there. McGowan gets up in there. We haven't seen too many big runs like that. The hole was so wide open that he cleanly had a big run right there.
And now Brandon Nunez will come in at quarterback inside the red zone. That's where they want to use him. Running right is Washington. Smothered right away by Terrence Ellis, the redshirt junior from Houston. A lot of options inside the red zone when Nunez is the quarterback.
So Nunez comes in, and as soon as he gets back there ready to take the snap, there were two defenders, two backers in a corner, or someone came up on the line of scrimmage. I think what you'll see is Western Kentucky to say, I'm gonna pack the line of scrimmage, and I'm gonna make you throw the ball.
New tight end for the Aggies, Adam Parks, the redshirt freshman from Kansas City, Kansas. Ruddison, also a running back. Nunez will pull it. He runs up to the 10.5-yard line. Breckenridge got there, the middle linebacker for WKU. Nunez slow to get up. Every hit will hurt a little bit more tonight with the temperature dipping down into the low 50s. Nunez in a lot of pain. He's going to have to go off. Marucci has to come in.
Yeah, and you know when you're running the ball and you're trying to secure the ball, helmets are coming in all over, and you take the helmet right on your hand, and that wrist area which he's rubbing, it makes it it stings a lot. So great job of holding onto the ball, though.
Line to gain is the 7. Handoff to McGowan. Sprints free, spins inside the 5, down to the 3. First down for the Aggies, a fresh set of downs. First down and goal coming up.
The second push by Seth McGowan right here. He gets hit hard there and turns, and he keeps going. You know, he's one of the runners, including Washington, including all our running backs, that if you put an arm out there, you're not going to fall. You're not going to be tackled with just an arm. You have to actually tackle him and get him down to the ground.
Marucci has McGowan to his right. Pistol back is Washington. 2 wide receiver look. Handoff to Washington, and he's in. His second rushing touchdown today. 6 rushing touchdowns in the previous 5 for Mike Washington. What a response, Danny.
Yeah, that was a great response because you have to put points on the board to stay in the game. The drive was good. It was all based on the Hobbs interception. But still, you get to midfield, you have to put something together. Had a couple quarterbacks come in there, running backs. McGowan had some big runs. Washington finishes it up strong. Very good running by the Aggies, and that keeps them in the ballgame.
Player injured for the Hilltoppers, having to go off is Sebastian Benjamin for a second time today. Montaño with the point after. And this game has kind of flipped a little bit. It was 24-7 Hilltoppers, and they had the ball. Veldkamp threw his second pick today. Aggie offense takes advantage, and now Montaño can make it a 10-point game with a lot of time left. 9:14 left in the third quarter. New Mexico State trying to play spoiler today. It hasn't been a perfect football game, but they're kind of just hanging in there, hanging around here on homecoming. Within 10. 5 minutes into the third. Hilltoppers undefeated in conference play. This one could get interesting. Hilltoppers will have the football when we come back. Joe Morris's defense making some plays here today. Adam Young, Danny Nee back with you. And Danny, you had a chance to speak to the Aggie defensive coordinator this week.
I did. I said, Coach, how do you keep everyone so involved and so ready to play? And we talked for a long time. He's a great guy. And he said, you know, ever read the book, Chop Wood, Carry Water? And I said, I haven't. So he told me the premise of the book. It's teaching them that success and fulfillment comes from embracing the journey. So that's what I'm trying to tell my guys. Embrace the journey. Things didn't go perfect for us, but you can't give up. It's part of the journey to get there. So I really enjoyed my talk with him. What a great guy.
It's been a resilient effort today. This is Messer on the return from the 1-yard line. Messer almost got loose. It's across the 35. A good return for the Louisville native. And Veldkamp back to work for WKU as he starts to try to get things straightened out here. A couple of rare mistakes for Veldkamp. You won't find many games where he throws 2 interceptions. That's been the case today. He only had 5 interceptions with a conference best 17 passing touchdowns for the season coming in. He's been the most accurate passer in Conference USA. He's a very good decision maker. Doesn't try to do too much. But he's thrown 2 picks today. Hands it off to Elijah Young, who is wrapped up by DeCarrick Hobbs, who had the interception moments ago.
You know who we need to get more involved in this defensive game? We need to get Buda Paletti in there, because I know I talked to Coach about him, and he's like, he got hurt a little bit, but he's getting better and better and better. Had a great week, and you expect him to be more involved. So I look for him down the stretch here.
The give is to Young again. He's tripped up. Sone Alpiu got a hand on him. 3rd down and short coming up for the Hilltoppers. Buda missed a pair of games, returned last week, but just didn't look the same against FIU. And to Danny's point, had a good week of practice. Neither team today has recorded a sack. Now would be a good time on 3rd and 4 for Buda Paletti, the team captain. Junior from California has 7.5 career sacks. Paletti will stay back in coverage. The pass is low and it's incomplete. Might have been deflected. Intended for Katie Hutchinson. And New Mexico State defensively in rhythm right now, forcing a punt.
There you go. There's your 3 and out. Great stand by the defense. Trying to get a little pressure there. Didn't quite get to him, but the ball's out quickly and just a little behind and puts it on the carpet. And great stand. 3 and out for the Aggs.
Cole Maynard, the punter for the Hilltoppers. Smith is back deep at his own 10 for NM State. Returnable for Smith. Trying to get by Dalvin Smith, the wide receiver who plays on special teams. What hasn't Dalvin Smith done today? He's caught the football, he's thrown a touchdown pass. And now the 6th-year Hilltopper from Glasgow, Kentucky, makes a tackle on special teams. Aggies are pin deep when we come back. Aggies have outscored the Hilltoppers 7-0 here in the quarter on homecoming from Aggie Memorial Stadium. Fans are braving the weather a little bit. Temperature into the low 50s. Wave the Wonder Dog on the Aggie sidelines per usual. New Mexico State at their own 8. A field goal or a touchdown makes this a 1-possession game on this drive midway through quarter number 3. Aggies have used 2 quarterbacks today, Nunez and Marucci. Nunez 0 for 2 passing, Marucci 5 for 9 with those 2 interceptions. 2 running backs from the 8s. McGowan to the right, Washington to the left. Only 2 wide receivers in. Hand off to Washington, past the 10 up to the 11. A little more breathing room on a 3-yard gain. It's been a really good day for Mike Washington. His 2nd straight highly effective game. He is just shy of 80 yards on the ground with 2 rushing scores. You know, strong running backs, but that offensive line has really done their job up there. When they've just created these holes for those running backs to get through. They've had a very tough load to hoe this game, but done well. There is a ton of time left. 7 and change left in the 3rd. A touchdown or a field goal in this drive really makes it interesting. Hand off to Washington. Running near sideline past the 30. Into Hilltopper territory. Have yourself a day, Mike Washington. Wow, that's just a big play right there by Washington. That's set up by the aggressive nature of Western Kentucky, because they brought some guys, and they've actually brought a cornerback. So you see Washington break to the left of your screen right there. The cornerback right there was coming in for a blitz. He got picked up, and once that blitz was picked up from the corner there was no one out there to protect that side, and Washington broke free. 47-yard surge for the transfer from Buffalo, his longest run of the year. Played 3 years for Buffalo, scored 10 touchdowns on the ground in his Buffalo career, and he's been awfully good the previous month for NM State. Play fake. Time for Marucci. Has a man far side, single coverage, and it's broken up. TJ Pride, the intended receiver. Excellent coverage by Keyshawn Swanson, the senior from Pensacola.
Yeah, that was really good coverage. I'm surprised he took the shot, but that kind of shows the confidence that Santino has back there. He's going to try to throw to his back shoulder. Probably needed to get just a bit more because he was in position for that back shoulder pass just a little bit. But good play, good try right there.
Passing game has struggled again today. Only 50 yards in the air. Only 30 a week ago. Dump off near side. Pass is caught by Tim Gans, but he was met right away by Johnson.
You know, Adam, I'm just so impressed by our running backs. The running backs will get hit. They get hit hard, too, and they just bounce back. And, you know, if you're not tackling them, if you're not bringing them to the carpet, they're going to just keep pumping those legs and keep getting those extra yards.
I know the ball's at the 41, but you may be in field goal range for Montagna.
Wow.
It's possible. It would be a long one, a 58, but who knows. 3rd and 9, need some yards here. A field goal would make it a one-possession game. Heavy pressure from the Hilltoppers. Swinging out left side, McGowan. Tons of space. Inside the 20. Bumped out of bounds. 1st and goal.
Great call right there. They're bringing pressure. So the Western Kentucky, their mode all game has been, we're going to pressure the quarterback. And so they did again. They brought lots of pressure. Snuck McGowan out of the backfield, little wheel route there. And since everyone came on the pressure, there was no one out there to defend him. Easily got to that 3rd level and pushed extra yards. Great job right there by the Mesquite Poteet High School running back.
33 yards on the catch and run for the former Oklahoma Sooner. Plays of 47 and 33 on this current drive. Marucci stays in at quarterback. Give this to McGowan, running straight ahead inside the end zone. First rushing touchdown for McGowan since week 1 against SEMO. It's a 4-point game.
Adam, you know, when you have a running back that's feeling it and the line is doing their job, you almost want to pay him back for all the hard work that he's done. It's like, get him the ball. That wasn't an easy run right there. They could have easily just pulled him down, and he just would not be denied getting into the end zone for the TD. What a great answer.
That was all Washington and McGowan on that drive. A fired up Tony Sanchez on the Aggie sidelines. Don't go anywhere. We have an upset brewing potentially. Aggies trailed by 17 at the break. It's a 3-point affair on homecoming. 24-21. Stick with us from Aggie Memorial. (24-21) the score. Conference standings going into today. Hilltoppers tied with Jacksonville State. The Gamecocks just finished their game against La Tech. An overtime win for Jack State. So their record was 4-0. Now they are 5-0. Hilltoppers trying to match it. But New Mexico State has some other plans. Trying to play spoiler here on homecoming. Aggies looking for their 2nd league win. And their 2nd straight league win at home. It was 2 weeks ago against La Tech when they won at home in conference play. No return. And this is after a 6-play, 92-yard drive, Danny. That had a 47-yard run for Washington and a 33-yard catch and run for McGowan. What a drive.
Yeah, that's some great running right there. We knew coming in that you're going to have to run the ball to establish, be able to throw the ball. Haven't had to throw the ball too much because you've had some great plays, some, breakout runs that kept you in the ball game, and they've just done quite well with them.
And now you might have Veldkamp not feeling as confident after throwing 2 interceptions in this game. Empty backfield. Pass is swung out and caught. Keyshawn Johnson. Coverage was there. He's across the 30. Quality pickup on first down.
It was there. There were a lot of people there. I thought Dylan Early jumped up route. He was going to get a pick on that thing, but he was able to get the ball in there and got a big run on that first down play.
Play action fake. Pass is complete to Easton Messer, who turns up field to the 40. Messer's had another good day. That is his 4th catch for nearly 70 yards here today.
He's a quick receiver, and when Veldkamp gets that ball out quickly, it makes it hard, especially if you're playing in a softer zone where you're back a bit. You have to really come up quickly to try to shut that down.
Turnovers have been a big issue today for both offenses. Veldkamp, tons of time to throw, and he's going to be dropped. The first sack here today for NM State, it comes from Tyler Martinez. His first sack of the year.
That's a great time to have a sack, Tyler Martinez. So here he is in the back, lots of time. Coverage is really good, nowhere to go with the ball. He tries to sneak out, and Tyler says, nope, I'm here, you're not sneaking out, and pulls him down for a great sack.
It's a loss of 6, the first sack for either squad today. Aggies coming in only had 10 sacks all year, the fewest in Conference USA, so it hasn't been just takeaways, Danny. It's been an issue getting to the quarterback overall.
Yeah, I think coming in we had only 10 sacks in 24, and you were 31 sacks last year. So, yeah, that really helps putting some more stats in the sack column for sure.
Western Kentucky started the day 5 for 5 on a third down. Now they're 6 for 8. 1 for their previous 3 on third down. Let's see if Joe Morris brings a little bit of pressure here on 3rd and 11. Crowd is a factor now. Buda Paletti trying to pump up the crowd. And a timeout is called by the New Mexico State defense, it looks like. It's the way they signal.
Timeout. New Mexico State, that's their first.
Well, that's interesting time for that timeout, what you may need down the road here. Something happened, and certainly maybe we weren't set up right.
Yeah, I think it was something Joe Morris didn't like. Tony Sanchez was not upset about the timeout at all. In fact, he was clapping his hands. A veteran timeout call if Joe Morris was looking for it right there on 3rd and 11. This is a very, very big play coming up. Right now, you have all the momentum if you're in New Mexico State and you want to keep it on your sideline.
Yeah, I think this second half he's called a great game. He's talking with Tony right there. It's Tony Sanchez and Coach Morris, so certainly they're going to be in sync on what he's trying to do. This is a 3rd and long, so this is a tough one that if you sit back too deep in coverage so they don't get past you, it brings that early or that midfield pass that opens up that we saw right near the end of the half. And with that, you get the first down and you keep the drive aligned. So there's a balance in there of trying to bring all the pressure or staying back or staying man.
Veldkamp and the Hilltoppers need the Aggie 49 for a first down. 3:26 left in the 3rd. This is a huge, huge play in this game. Veldkamp back to throw now. He's going to run, and he runs for the first down. Effective with his legs. We haven't seen it much today. He is 6'6", 236, but he can really move, and he motors for the first.
So we chose to stay in man coverage and go get him. So within man coverage, everyone is accounted for except for one, and that would be the quarterback. And the quarterback kept the ball and showed his legs today.
17-yard explosion on 3rd and 11. Noah Arinze got a fingertip on him, but could not get a full grasp of Veldkamp. Johnson in motion to the top side. Play fake to Young. Veldkamp looking right now. He looks left, and Arinze will get to him this time. Can't get by him twice.
Second effort, right? So he stayed with it. He saw what was going on, and he didn't give up on the play. Very good job by Arinze. He was all over that thing. He just didn't get there the first time. Didn't give up. Saw him trying to sneak out, and it's like, no, I'm not there. That's a lot of hard work. You can see him breathing hard right there on the screen. He's that's very tough to be in the trenches every play.
Arinze, a former Oklahoma Sooner, played his high school ball in Kirkwood, Missouri for Webster Groves. Tackle made there by Josiah Cox, bringing down Elijah Young. Another 3rd down upcoming for the Hilltoppers.
Yeah, this Western Kentucky team's tough. If you want to choose to shut down the pass, they have some runs. A quarterback we saw certainly can run the ball. Young, a very capable runner. So sometimes you have to choose your poison. But if you're going to stay in the game, you have to be able to account for both, shut them down, and figure out a way to get a stop.
This is probably 4-down territory for the Hilltoppers. This is dicey field goal range if they would choose to kick one if the Aggies can make a stop. 3rd and 4. Veldkamp, nowhere to go again. Finally finds a man. Katie Hutchinson gets the first down. He tiptoes around the sideline. Did he stay in bounds? He's still on his feet. He's wrestled down inside the 5-yard line. Somehow, some way, he stayed in bounds along his sideline.
I think there's a couple of Aggies saying, hey, I got held in there, but nonetheless, no flags, so you play on. And you'll see right here on the right side that he feels like Orenze, I think it was, trying to get out, couldn't get out. He gets the ball off anyway. You have to make that tackle. You have to figure out a way to break down on that. That's Barnes on coverage. He's got to make it.
Veldkamp pushing, looking for another touchdown run. He's in again. Second rushing touchdown for Caden Veldkamp. His 7th this year. Aggies could not find a way to get off the field on 3rd down. The Hilltoppers make them pay, and they extend the lead to a 2-possession lead again.
Yeah, this is tough. We know that he's going to follow his lead back in there. There's just good offensive line to get behind, and he's a big guy, which we know. We've seen him run, and so he just pushes in for it.
The big play on 3rd and 11 on the scamper for Veldkamp. And then Hutchinson, the big catch and run, breaking a tackle on 3rd and 4. And the Hilltoppers continue to be awfully effective on 3rd down on offense. So with under a minute left in the 3rd, the lead grows to 10. First points in this half for WKU. That's a backbreaker, isn't it, Danny?
Yeah, that's a tough one, too, especially when you had him pinned at 3rd and long, right? So you had him pinned 3rd and long, took a timeout. We talked about it. The team talked about it and said, you know, how are we going to do this? So they decided, look, we're going to go man. We're going to put pressure on him. We're going to not sit back and wait for him to pick us apart. And by doing that, you leave the quarterback open, and he saw the opening and took it. That was the big play that set up the rest of it. Tony Sanchez is certainly not happy with something that was going on there, and he's fired up.
Well, you said there were a couple players wanting a holding call on the Hutchinson play.
Yeah, there was a couple in there that it felt like it, and there was an official right there looking at him, and he basically said play on. And I don't know who that was. I can't remember if it was Orenze or who it was, but someone was there. But that happens, right? So you got to play on. And then in that case, Barnes missed that tackle. You have to make those tackles. So here we are. You're going to have to answer.
Stevens with a kick. McMillan, 1 yard deep, will take it out, and he gets taken down by the turf monster. Tripped over his own feet, across the 15 up to the 16. But field position on the previous drive was not a factor for the NM State offense when they went 92 yards on 6 plays. Danny, they are still in this 10-point game.
They are absolutely in this, and it's important that you don't flinch too fast and start to say, I got to pass the ball, I got to throw the ball down the field. That run has been very effective, so you just got to stick with it.
Lorenzo McMillan, so coachable. I mean, Tony Sanchez talking to him, and you can hear or see Lorenzo saying, yes, sir, yes, sir. That pass is behind P.J. Johnson. The passing game ineffective again today. The Aggie quarterbacks have only combined for 85 yards passing, and a good chunk of that was done by McGowan on the 33-yard catch and run in the previous drive.
Yeah, and I see where Coach is going there. It's like, you know you're going to run. You know we know you're going to run. Everybody knows we're going to run, so I'm going to pull the ball and try to get a quick pass in there. Maybe it worked, but just wasn't a connection.
Mike Washington not in the game. Running back is McGowan. Motions to the right of Santino Marucci. Running left up near the 20 to the 18 for 2. 3rd and 8 with 40 seconds left in the 3rd.
You know, the hard thing about throwing the ball on the first down is that it could leave you with like a 3rd down and long if you don't complete the pass, which is what happens here. I kind of like running the ball on first down and giving yourself a chance on the 2nd and 3rd. But here you go, 3rd and long.
4-receiver look. We've seen the Aggies run the ball on 3rd and long today at times. This pass is over the head of TJ Pride, so poor offensive possession for NM State, and now George Eberle will punt for a second time today. And this is a big swing in this game. The Aggies had all the momentum. They couldn't get off the field on 3rd down on the previous defensive drive, and then they go 3 and out. to bring out Eberle to punt. Eberle gets it away. Return man is K.D. Hutchinson. Hutchinson at the 40. Good field position coming up for WKU. 1 second left here in the third quarter. Do you get greedy, Danny? Can you get another takeaway if you're the Aggie defense?
I think you can. I think you could certainly say, yeah. I mean, you've gotten two. You've got two good picks, and so why not a third? We've had three turnovers. Why can't they? Right?
49-yard punt for Eberle. 12-yard return for Hutchinson, who's been used a lot of different ways again today for WKU. Veldkamp in this half starting to use his legs a little bit more. Final play of the third quarter coming up. Young is upended. Tackle made there by Dylan Early, just shy of midfield. 4-yard pickup, ball up to the 49, and we have played 3 quarters. A good quarter overall for NM State. They pulled within 3. Now it's a 10-point lead with the ball for WKU as we go to the 4th at Aggie Memorial. Adam Young, Danny Nee back with you. Only 3 regular season games remain after tonight for NM State. A top 20 program coming up next. Texas A&M currently 7-2. They're in a bye week after losing against South Carolina a week ago. And then the bottom of the league in the final 2 conference games, Middle Tennessee and UTEP. Middle Tennessee was blown out again today. UTEP did win for the 2nd time this year against Kennesaw State. But absolutely 2 winnable games in conference play down the stretch. That tackle made by linebacker Quincy Davis, upending the quarterback Veldkamp. 3rd down coming up, 4 yards to go. Can New Mexico State on defense get off the field on a 3rd down? Couldn't do it at the end of the 3rd quarter. Trying to do it here to start the 4th. A lot of communication right now in the secondary. Dylan Early leading the way in that category. Veldkamp on a 3rd and 4. Lost it near side. Incomplete. Coverage there by Shaden Robinson, one of the defensive linemen.
Great pressure on the quarterback. Had to get the ball out a little bit there and couldn't make the completion. And it's nice that you're sticking with those receivers. Coaches noted it right away. Nothing happening.
Yeah, that was a
great
wheel
stand.
Route.
Yeah,
a wheel route there for Young, and Robinson stuck with him. That could have been dangerous defensively. Maynard will punt. Transfer from North Carolina. High spiraling kick. Fair catch called for Jordan Smith. Just past the 15. Still a ton of time left, 14 and change, down 10. The previous offensive drive was the worst of the day. I guess not the worst of the day if you take out the first drive of the game, or the interception, but
tip ball, right?
Sustained the worst drive of the day as far as a couple of different plays. And we'll see if they get back on track.
They came out the last drive throwing the ball first and then trying to have a run and then had to throw the ball again. So let's see if they go back to run the ball, then throw it.
Still no Mike Washington, who's run for 128 today. So it's McGowan again in the backfield. And Marucci will pull it, trying to make a move. And he does not fool the Western Kentucky defense. A good decision to pull it. Just shy of the 20. A gain of 3.5 for Santino Marucci, who was pretty good with his legs in half one.
Yeah, so decide to pull the ball out and run itself. There's 3 defenders there. There's not much you can do, so you just try to get as many positive yards as possible and take care of the football.
And now Washington is back in there. So a 2 running back look, which is hard to defend, even when you know, or at least feel like, the Aggies will run the football. And they will run it with McGowan. McGowan across the 30, dragging a tackler past the 35 up to the 37. 17-yard explosion. Man, are these running backs good.
And they know it's coming too, right? So it's a little misdirection where you have a lot of the offense going right, so everyone is moving right, and you have McGowan kind of moving left. So they do a little cross in there in the backfield, and either one of those guys are very capable. So you see everything looks like it's going to the left of the screen, and then McGowan comes back to the right of it, picks up a big run on them.
Pistol back, Washington takes the handoff. Washington up near midfield, and the ball is loose. Was he down, though? We'll wait for the official signal. They're going to say Western Kentucky ball. The Aggies are saying Washington was down. I don't know.
I don't either, but it did look like he bounced around, so I don't know if he hit or not.
The ball was fumbled and recovered by the defense.
So it's going to be a fumble on Washington, who was trying to squirt loose for a couple extra yards. We'll get the replay look.
Yeah, we'll look here. There he is. Big hole to run into.
I don't know.
Put it down.
Let's see if Rodney Burnett is going to take a look at this or not. He's looking at the replay official on the field. Yeah, it's going to be Western Kentucky football.
Yeah.
Another Aggie turnover.
So 4 turnovers, it's hard to win a ball game like that. They're moving the ball. They're doing quite well, and that happens. So now it's on the defense again. The defense, you got to make a stand. You got to help the offense out a little bit here.
6 combined turnovers between these two teams today. We'll see a heavy dose of Elijah Young here in the fourth quarter for the Hilltoppers. Even if you just get 3 on that possession, it's a one-possession game. Instead, you cough up the football on a day where Washington has been so good. His only miscue today, just couldn't hang on to the football. And overall this year, the running backs have done a good job of that, hanging on to the football. Young in the backfield again with Veldkamp. Flag comes in. This is going to be on WKU, it looks like, as Young goes out of bounds.
Offense number 58. 10-yard penalty remains first down.
This is the first penalty on WKU in a couple of weeks. They were not penalized a week ago. Their first penalty today comes in the fourth quarter.
Now the clock is starting to kind of weave into this a little bit here. And I think you see the hold right there in the middle of the screen.
Hilltoppers are 6th in the country in fewest penalties per game. That number is only improving today. Their first penalty with 12 minutes left in the game. Nowhere to go for Young at midfield.
It's a good job by the defense putting him into a 2nd and long situation.
Now the thing, too, for this Aggie offense, Danny, they are not built to make a 10-point comeback with 11 and change left because they don't throw the ball much.
Yeah, so it doesn't play into their hand at all. But here you are. So first starts with the stop by the defense. Then if you can get something going on the offensive side. But first start, get a stop here.
Veldkamp has thrown for 189 today. He has thrown 2 interceptions, though. 2nd down and 20. He has tons of time. He'll check it down to the running back, Hart. Slips away from Dylan Early and cuts up field. That's Hart, the running back, who scampers for a first down and missed tackles creeping up again on NM State.
Yeah, that's tough right there. Dylan Early is there, and so he goes and tries to dive at him, and Hart, being quick and nimble, steps aside there. A little pressure on him, dumps the ball out quickly. There's Dylan Early right there, and just couldn't get his feet underneath him.
21 yards on the check down on 2nd and 20, so a first down. And now Veldkamp will keep it. He is swung down. Nice play there defensively by safety Nick Session, the transfer from Oklahoma State.
Still have some time here. You got to hold them to 3, though. Can't let him into the end zone. Can't have a TD on you here. So coming up quick, trying to shut it down. Not giving any extra yardage.
Running back is Young, the transfer from Mizzou. Played 3 years for the Tigers. Veldkamp's pass is batted down at the defensive line. Fahina and Lawson right there, batting down that pass from the 6'6" quarterback.
You know, usually if you get a quarterback back there, and the rule is if you can't get to the quarterback, you put your arm up so that you can at least try to tip the ball of some sort. But when you have a 6'6" quarterback, that makes it really hard.
Hilltoppers excellence on 3rd down today. 8 for 11. Hard to be a whole lot better. 41% for the year coming in. Third and 10. Deep ball from Veldkamp, and he connects with his wide receiver. Touchdown Hilltoppers. K.D. Hutchinson. 3rd touchdown catch of the year. What a pretty throw by Veldkamp.
That was a great throw right there. So 6 guys on the line of scrimmage. We're going to try to go get him, put some pressure on him, but puts Barnes in one-on-one coverage on the outside. So he sits back in there and throws the ball deep over the top. Barnes not in bad position, but that was just a great thrown ball right there.
This hasn't been the best day for Veldkamp with the 2 turnovers, but we have still seen why he is regarded as one of the very best quarterbacks right now in Conference USA. He has run for a couple of touchdowns. He has thrown for a pair. He hooks up here with Hutchinson. 19 touchdown passes, a league best now for Caden Veldkamp. Third down struggles defensively continue today for New Mexico State. 3rd and 10, and then Veldkamp hooks up 28 yards away with K.D. Hutchinson. He was going to take a really good throw, and Veldkamp made the throw, but once again, Danny, 3rd and 10, can't get off the field.
Yeah, and it costs you, and that's, you know, we're in coverage, and we're in good coverage, but they just seem to just kind of fall apart right at the second. We missed a tackle early on. It set up that touchdown pass right there. Great pass, and makes it very hard.
Same thing on the previous scoring drive for WKU. A couple of key 3rd down conversions. High kick, bobbled by McMillan, who struggled today on kick returns. He could have fair caught that, but instead he tried to return it after the bobble. And New Mexico State will have poor field position to start again. Down 17 with 9 and change left here in the 4th. Now McMillan was not returning kicks early in the year, but he started to after the injury to Monte Watkins a couple games ago. We've seen a heavy dose of Santino Marucci here in this half, and he will start this drive at quarterback again. Pistol back McGowan. McGowan trying to bounce it to the outside. 3 Hilltoppers right there. Ankle tackle is made by Kent Robinson, the transfer from Texas A&M at cornerback for the Hilltoppers.
That time's not in your favor right here, so I think they're going to sit back and let you have some of those early on because they have a comfortable lead, knowing that you're going to have to throw the ball to get it down the field.
Aggies have only thrown for 85 yards today. 33 of those came on a check down pass to McGowan here in this half. Nunez not completing a pass. Marucci's completed 7 today. A run straight up the middle again for McGowan to the 20. Gets 3.5 yards. And that's the hard thing about this offense. It's not built to come from behind in a deficit like this because they've not been able to throw the ball. McGowan lined up at wide receiver. 3rd and 4. Empty backfield for Marucci. You better believe the Hilltoppers will bring pressure, and it's incomplete. Cordell David, the intended receiver. It's a good throw, and David just could not reel it in.
Pressure's coming, so you ended up with an empty backfield. No one back there for some coverage for Santino. He knows he can feel the pressure from the right. Throws the ball out there. Looked like it was a good ball. Looks like it hit him in the hand, but he just couldn't reel it in, and that just sets up the punt.
No catches today for Cordell, who has 59 career catches, but only 15 this year. Punt by Eberle. Pass midfield and will bounce out of bounds just shy of the 40. Hilltoppers can add to their lead as they try to extend their conference record to 5-0, in position for their 7th win this year. Bull-bound Hilltoppers lead by 17. It's been a turnover-filled game today. New Mexico State has committed 4, WKU 2. That's been the story this year for the Hilltoppers, forcing turnovers. The Aggie defense finally getting some takeaways. They made it a 3-point game late in the third, but the Hilltoppers starting to pull away.
You know, when I was talking to Coach Sanchez earlier in the week, he was telling me a stat that he came across. It was like, you win the turnover battle, you win the rushing battle, you have a 92% chance of winning the game. But we didn't win the turnover battle, or are not winning the turnover battle.
Hand off to Young on first down. Nowhere to go. Maybe a gain of a half yard there for the transfer from Mizzou. If you ask any coach keys to the game, Danny, they will start with turnover battle every single time.
It doesn't matter who you talk to, you're right. The first one is, well, you can't turn the ball over. You got to take care of the football. Turnovers, turnovers, turnovers. So when that really is at 4, it makes it very tough. Win the rushing game, we were winning the rushing game. I think we were doing quite well running the ball, but the turnover battles made it very tough.
Trayvon Taylor, the player down right now on the offensive line for the Hilltoppers. Their starting left tackle, a transfer from FCS Alabama State. They have a number of Alabama State transfers. Tyson Helton does in his 6th year on the program. Hilltoppers bull-bound for an 11th time in the previous 13 years, including all 6 seasons under Tyson Helton. So they're already bull-bound, but they're trying to get to the Conference USA Championship game and potentially host as well. A win today would make them 5-0 in conference play. And as we talked about earlier, the Hilltoppers still have Jacksonville State left on their schedule. Their final 2 regular season games will be at Liberty and at home against Jack State. Next week, they're home against La Tech. Veldkamp being chased, a big block, and the pass is out of bounds. Intended for Keyshawn Johnson.
Well, he certainly scrambles quite well as a big guy. He gets out there. They get a little chip block because they're running him down from back and nowhere to go with the ball. He throws the ball out. He's had a good night. We haven't got to him at all, really. Other than his 2 interceptions, we just can't put the pressure on him.
And he was the backup to start the year. He was backing up T.J. Finley, the former quarterback at LSU, Auburn, and Texas State, who transferred into WKU this year, who was injured in week 3 at Middle Tennessee, hasn't played since. Finley did travel this week, though, so he could be close to a return. Veldkamp maneuvering left, likely going to be a hold on the Hilltoppers and their new left tackle.
Yeah, I think they caught them that time. It was trying to get out of that that hold. Let's see.
Holding. Offense number 71. The penalties decline. 4th down.
Stacy Wilkins called for the hold. He just came in the game for Taylor. Second penalty today on WKU. The Aggies decline, and the Hilltoppers punt.
Yeah, you can see the hold there at the top of the screen, just pulling on the jersey and just right in front of the official. It was easy for him to see. Throws the penalty, and it's 4th down, though, so we're going to decline.
Maynard will punt to Jordan Smith. That is something we haven't talked about today much, is the fact that Veldkamp was not the starter early on this year. It was Finley. An impressive quarterback room for WKU. Veldkamp a year ago was the 3rd stringer going into their bowl game. Ended up being the offensive MVP of the famous Toastery Bowl after coming on in relief to lead a 28-point comeback win. It's a cool story because
it's a great story.
He might be the best quarterback in the league, and he wasn't the starter to start the year.
I think he's one of the better quarterbacks we've seen, for sure. So, yeah, it's incredible that he had to find his way onto the field, and it looks like he has that much potential, that much talent.
New Mexico State down 17, under 8 left. Trying to finish with some positives offensively in this one. This has been a great positive today as Mike Washington pinballs off defenders for a 9-yard gain. His rushing total, Danny, is above 150 now. 152 on the ground for Washington. a new season high. This time Marucci will keep it, and Marucci lost the football. It is scooped up by Western Kentucky. The 5th Aggie turnover. Early it was interceptions, now it's been fumbles as Santino Marucci lost the handle, and the Hilltoppers offense back to work.
So let's see what Santino does here. He keeps the ball, you see him right there. And it certainly knocked it out of his hands and recovered by Western Kentucky.
And this is what they do. They are looking and seeking turnovers more than most defenses. So you really have to protect the football against this WKU defense. And New Mexico State has not done that today from the jump.
I didn't even notice.
There was an interception thrown by Marucci on the first play today offensively. And it continues to put the defense in really difficult spots. Veldkamp pump fakes twice and then decides to run. Jaden Robinson gets to him, trying to yank the ball out of the hands of Veldkamp. Good luck trying to do that. He is 6'6", almost 240, and he's the son of a strength coach. His dad is the strength and conditioning coach for Western Kentucky.
Well, he had to hold the ball. I mean, he had to take the ball and try to do something with it because everyone was covered. It was good coverage by the Aggies. Nothing he could do with the ball throwing it, so he had to run it.
He does get 1 yard, 2nd down and 9 for Veldkamp and this Hilltoppers offense. They will pitch it left side, nowhere to go. It was Jalen Hampton, his first touch today at running back. I'd see some reserves coming up for WKU. You know, Danny, it's a little surprising that on a day where New Mexico State has committed 5 turnovers, it's only a 17-point game.
Yeah, and it was a closer game until the latter part of this half when everything just started falling apart. And there was a few areas that you correct those, and all of a sudden you're in the game.
Yeah, it's easy to say, but if you take care of the football, who knows what happens.
Right.
Veldkamp can't take care of it. He lost the football. Was he down, though? That's the question. Veldkamp was down. Aggie defense down there disagrees, but it did seem like to the naked eye that he was down with his knee. So the kicking unit will come out for WKU. Yeah, it seemed like he was down. It came out late.
Great.
Lucas Carnero, the kicker for the Hilltoppers, made from 42 to finish off the second quarter. This one a little bit deeper. This is a 53-yard attempt. Season long is 54 for Carnero. Right through the middle.
Wow.
Carnero's had a good day.
That was a good kick right there. You know, when it's working, everything's working. Everything's coming together. Snap, hold, strong kick, strong leg through the middle.
Hilltoppers showing off how complete they are today. Special teams effective with Carnero. The offense has had another good day, scoring 41. The defense able to get 5 takeaways, holding the Aggies to 21 points. This Hilltoppers defense, they're only giving up 15 points per game in their previous 7. That is the program's best stretch since 2001. They have not allowed more than 21 in a game since the season opener at Alabama. So Tony Sanchez and the Aggies could get above 21 and be the first team to post over 21 since Bama in week 1. On a day where you commit 5 turnovers as well.
Yeah, that's kind of funny. Those are weird the way the stats worked out like that, but you're absolutely right. It's 15 points in the last 7 games, and so 21 is good. Moral victory, maybe.
The resume for the Hilltoppers really good. The loss to Alabama, a 1-point loss to Boston College. Those are their only 2 losses this year. In BC early on in the year, they were in the top 25 for a little while. They are caught for McMillan. Ball would be placed at the 25-yard line. tough one coming up next week. The Aggies are at Texas A&M, but then two very winnable Conference USA games to finish off the year. Middle Tennessee in Murfreesboro, and then home against UTEP during Thanksgiving week. Positive today has been running the football. 300 rushing yards for NM State, a new season high.
It's incredible. That's fantastic. I know that all the running backs have done quite well outside of the fumbles of putting the ball on the carpet, but heck of a night rushing the ball.
The pass pinballs around. It was batted down the line. Hilltoppers have done that a couple times today. To record 300 rushing yards too, Danny, when the defense knows you're going to run the football. That's probably the most impressive part.
It was incredible. They came in and stacked the box and said, yeah, you're not going to run, and they were still able to do that.
McGowan makes a move along the right hash. He's up to the 29-yard line, 4-yard pickup on the second down carry for McGowan. This is probably the best we've seen Washington and McGowan play together. McGowan is right at 100 yards, Washington 152. Marucci back to throw, completes that one. Donovan Fappel. Danny, that is his first catch of the year.
That's really incredible, because I think he's could be one of the better receivers for the Aggies. We just haven't got the ball there. I know he's had some other issues that have come up that have kept him off the field. I know the coaches were expecting a lot from him. He's gotten involved in some of the rushing on some of the wide receiver come around jet sweep type stuff, but nice to get him on the board with the catch.
McGowan up to midfield.
Wow.
Another first down. Yeah, going back to Fappel, he had some dental work done early on in the year that didn't allow him to play for a while. And a year ago, he had a pretty big role on that offense. Had 98 receiving yards a year ago, but just made his first catch of the year moments ago. Marucci looking for somebody to throw it to. Wheeler's chasing him. Marucci's going to run and sidestep out of bounds on the far sideline. Jamar Mundy in the secondary right there to steer him out of bounds.
Great coverage. There's nothing he could do with it. Running out of bounds, take the ball, throw it out, run it out of bounds, do whatever you need to live another day.
If you told Tony Sanchez at this point of the year, Cordell David and Donovan Fappel would only have 16 combined catches, you'd probably think you're in trouble a little bit in the passing game, and that's been the case. Cordell just hasn't had a lot of catches for the year, and Fappel's been out for a while. It was a high snap again, and Marucci's going to have to throw it away. 3:11 left, third down coming up. Trying to find some more positives into next week, down 20. We haven't seen Brandon Nunez in a while. Nunez could not complete a pass today, but was pretty good in the running game. And that package that he uses in the red zone. Timeout, Western Kentucky.
Timeout. Western Kentucky. Their first 30 seconds.
Danny, this is a difficult one to unpack because there were positives today. You look at the running numbers of 320. The turnover number, not good. You had it at a 3-point game relatively late in the third quarter. This one just kind of was all over the place for New Mexico State.
It really wasn't. And if you go back to the beginning of the game, it started out where we just dug ourselves a hole right from the start, right? You get the first pass that's deflected, throws an interception there, gets behind us in defense for a quick score, and all of a sudden we're down 14-0 and the game barely started. And for them to crawl back, scratch back, to do whatever they need to post 21 points is pretty good. Run the ball well. Had some great combinations between Nunez and Santino trying to work together in the backfield. Both running backs, great night running the ball, but too many times of turnovers again, and it just makes it hard. So those are good things to go off. Those are the positives, but it just makes it tough to say yes, but we didn't win.
Michael Navarrete, who does a great job as the football sports info director for the Aggies, passes along this note. First time with two 100-yard rushers in a game since 2016 for the Aggies. High throw by Marucci, but it's hauled in. P.J. Johnson with the grab, his first catch today. So, Danny, that's going back to the Larry Rose days, the early Larry Rose days back in 2016.
Yeah, that's incredible.
113 on the ground for McGowan, 152 for Washington. Marucci's going to run. He had a lot of time, and Marucci will slide at the 25-yard line. Now, where did he start his slide? They're going to say the 29, so it will move the chains, and the Aggies are inside the 30.
That's a great job running the ball, using your feet. Everyone's covered, but they're spread out so far. There's no backer tracking Santino, and he takes the ball and picks up the first down.
Washington, the running back. Marucci's going to have to run again. This time he can't go very far. Met at the line.
Marucci on the scramble.
Some extracurriculars after the tackle.
No gain.
Player slow to get up for the Hilltoppers. That is Deontay McCray, the defensive tackle.
It's a two-minute timeout.
And this is the 2-minute timeout here in the fourth quarter. 41-21. Aggies cut the deficit to 3 late in the third. And now the Hilltoppers pulling away as they seek their 7th win this year. Hilltoppers in full control now, 41-21. The bowl-bound Hilltoppers in line to go to 5-0 in Conference USA. They're going to play La Tech in Bowling Green next week. A couple of big regular season finishers for them with games against Liberty in Lynchburg and home against Jack State in their final 2. Aggies have A&M and then Middle Tennessee and then UTEP. Marucci throws, and it's caught. Donovan Fapel. 2 catches on the drive for Fapel. Didn't have a catch all year. That is his first receiving touchdown as an Aggie. The sophomore from Riverside, California.
Oh, Adam, nice call. You called him in and said, hey, here's a guy that they needed, were expecting more from him, and he's just got back in, had some trouble with some dental work, but nice formation, had a 3-by-1 formation at the bottom. There were 3 at the top. It was Fapel. You put a back out there as well. They look the other way, and boom, right there. How about the throw?
Yeah. Perfectly placed by Santino Marucci. That's his 3rd touchdown pass this year. So potentially an encouraging finish for the Aggie offense in the passing game. 10 plays, 75 yards, 308. The blemish today is going to be the turnovers, no question.
Yep.
But surrounding those turnovers, there were a lot of bright spots for this offense. They scored 28 today. The first team to score 21 plus against WKU since Alabama in week 1.
And again, I think they just took their eyes off of Powell, and he just went right down the line of the sidelines there. Santino quickly finds that they lost him and got the ball to them, and that's a great job. Yeah, a bright spot for sure. I mean, we haven't seen many good throwing, passing touchdowns this year, so that was fantastic.
Aggies desperately needed somebody to emerge in that wide receiver room, and maybe it's going to be Fapel here in these final couple of weeks. 8 catches a year ago, none for a touchdown though, and now the Aggies will try an onside kick, and that ball was zipping along the far sideline. That had some heat on it. Hilltoppers will take over and just run out the clock, likely in the final 153. So the Aggies will drop to 2-7, 1-5 in Conference USA. You knew that it was going to be a large hill to climb tonight against a really talented WKU program that probably is the best team right now in Conference USA. Just overall with the way they played this year and the competition they played. Had some chances late in the third, just could not make big plays when they needed to.
And you know, Adam, we thought coming into the game that they could run the ball on him. Even when I was talking to the coaches, that, you know, I think you can run the ball. I think you can. This is a team that you can beat. And the coach said, yeah, if we can just run the ball, not turn over the ball, not have the turnovers.
That's their second, 30 seconds.
Tony Sanchez will use the timeout after the run. 4 yards for Elijah Young. And looking at the Hilltoppers, Danny, if they can't stop the run, they're going to have a hard time with Jacksonville State in that regular season finale. We saw it. The Gamecocks probably have the best rushing attack in the conference. And the Hilltoppers allowed 331 on the ground today. So that could be tough in that final game.
It could be one of those scoring fests. It's like, everyone's going to run the ball and everyone's going to be able to score. So who's going to score more? That will be a good contest. Yeah, you're right.
Jacksonville escaped with a win against Louisiana Tech today in Ruston in overtime. Liberty hammered Middle Tennessee 37-17. UTEP edged Kennesaw State down the road in the Sun Bowl. That was the second win this year for UTEP. Kennesaw State only has one win this year. George Hart III, transfer from Arizona State, runs on second down. About a half-yard shy, it looks like, of a first down. Tony Sanchez will use another timeout.
You know, part of looking back on tonight, it's some of the big plays. You know, so we've seen it so multiple games. It's like we give up too many explosive big plays, and everybody knows and sees it, and yet it's still able to come into a game and have those big explosive plays. And I think those hurt, because those are, you know, it's not a bend and break. It's a one play, get on the board type thing, and it makes it tough. So those are the ones I really think they got to figure out, what do we got to do to correct that?
Aggie offense had only committed 15 turnovers total all year in 8 games before today, so a little less than 2 per game, and they've committed 5 today. This has been their worst game of the year when it comes to turnovers, and it was really off the jump on the first play on offense. It was a turnover on an interception for Marucci. Handoff, and Hart didn't get it. Didn't look like. He's going to be shy. No gain on the play. 4th down and inches coming up, it looks like, for WKU.
It's a good stop right there. I know we got some other players in there. We saw a shot of Naki Fahina on the sideline there, kind of rooting on who was taking his spot. I had talked to Coach about him because he came over, played with Coach Sanchez at UNLV, and I said, hey, I want to like that guy. And he said, he's the best dude. He's the best guy. So even when he's not in, he's cheering on his team. Good to have him.
Pretty cool story.
Yeah.
Tony Sanchez has essentially recruited him twice. First to UNLV and then here for his final year.
Western Kentucky. That's our second. 30-second.
On 4th down, the Hilltoppers will call a timeout with a little bit under a minute left. It's going to be another win for Tyson Helton and WKU. Danny, we saw them live in Bowling Green a year ago. Do you feel like they're better this year, a lot better this year? How would you compare last year to this year from what you've seen from WKU?
I think they're I don't know if I would say a better team, but yeah, maybe so. Maybe I would say they're a better team. Now, the Aggies were a little bit better last year, and we had some weapons that come back. But that last year, if you remember, we were calling the game, and we got down in a hurry, and it's like, oh no, the wheels are falling off. And we came back on offense, didn't turn over the ball as much as this, and so that makes a difference. But yeah, I think maybe they are a better team than last year. And you know, he's had a lot of players come in as well. We had portal issues that lost a lot. He lost a lot, and he brought in a bunch, and he's brought them to a good spot in the season.
They've done a really good job of navigating the portal. Some really good hidden gem finds. A guy like Keyshawn Johnson, who was an FCS All-American. Heck, they have a middle linebacker, Chandler Matthews, who was a Division II walk-on before coming to the Hilltoppers. He's been really good. 4th and inches, play action fake, and the catch is made by the tight end. And that is Elvin Fofana. Fofana, his first action all year. He's coming back from injury. He was the number 2 tight end in August. So it's good to see Fofana get a touch for the first time this year. He goes for 8, a first down for the Hilltoppers. Their tight end room is loaded.
Yeah, they got some great tight ends.
I don't believe we saw River Helms today. He missed last week with an injury. A labrum was questionable going into today, but Noah Myers has had good moments. Now Fofana's back. Trevor Borland was out today. He had a touchdown catch a week ago, and the Hilltoppers will run out the clock. 41-28 is going to be the final score. Tyson Helton has some good things brewing there in Bowling Green. Another successful year as they improve to 7-2, 5-0 in Conference USA. Aggies dropped to 2-7 and 1-5 in league play. What if, Danny? What if it was a 3-point game late in the third quarter and then things started to unravel for NM State with the turnovers?
Yeah, that makes it tough. We've had some key problems in there. There were some positives that did come of this, as we talked about. You brought up running game, throw the ball here at the end of the game. Very nice. So there's good things there. The pieces are there, but they just haven't come together.
Hilltoppers win their 4th in a row. They have now won 7 of their previous 8 games. As we take a look at our Whataburger play of the game, and we saw a couple of successful trick plays in this one for the Hilltoppers. They're known for that offensively. Dalvin Smith is a wide receiver. Well, he threw a touchdown pass here. His 4th career touchdown pass. The FCS All-American last year, Keyshawn Johnson, hauled it in. That went for 51 yards. There was also a 54-yard touchdown pass, a 28-yarder. Explosive plays were key in the win again for the Hilltoppers. And that's secondary for NM State, Danny. They're still searching for game-to-game consistency.
Yeah, I think they still got behind us quite a few times tonight, and that made it hard. We knew that they were going to have some trick plays. Coaches said they had a trick play. We knew they had trick plays. You still have to be disciplined enough on defense and not let those affect you, and we didn't. We weren't that disciplined. Had some turnovers, big issue.
Top 20 program now on the road for NM State next week at Texas A&M. One of the keys in those Power 4 games all the time, Danny, get out of that healthy into those final 2 in the regular season.
Yeah, it's a big, good game, and I know you want to match up against the big schools and figure out where you are. Those are important, but it's also important not to have any injuries coming out of that. You're right. So should be a good game, though.
3 regular season games left. New Mexico State will have A&M, and then Middle Tennessee and UTEP. We're back with you for that UTEP finale on ESPN+. A good day for the Aggie run game. They ran for 331, but they committed 5 turnovers, and the Hilltoppers stay in first place in Conference USA. For our director, Vinny Conway, our producer, Rito Rodriguez, Alex Ramirez was our engineer. Anthony Casals on stats, foul at Shea Luz Pastrana. My partner, Danny Nee, Adam Young, saying all games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live and also archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN. The Hilltoppers stay undefeated in league play. Good night from Aggie Memorial.